All right, we live. All right, first and foremost, to give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh. We do so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Christ, Yahweh Shai. It's your brother, Chief Priest, Allah's Arbon Lawyer, a.k.a. the GORRILLA Hebrew, who I got with me.
This Officer Assad, a.k.a. Two-Side Louverture.
That's right. We in the Zoe room. We got a little change of scenery for this morning's class through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. We're in the Zoe room. Okay? I'm about to pull the chat up on here. Real quick, let me pull the chat up. Yo, what did you just do?
I accidentally pressed the power button.
What's wrong with you, brother? All right, hold on.
Oh, is this one supposed to be muted?
Yeah, that's supposed to, that mic is supposed to be muted. It's muted.
Oh, okay.
All right, so share, saints, like, sub, share, you know, all the good stuff. Like, sub, share, super chat. All praise Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Let me share this. Make sure y'all tap in with the notification gang too, so y'all know, because you know it ain't no set time when we do this. So y'all need to make sure you got the bell turned on, so you know when we going live. Shalom to the brother Kaz Mashapat. Cartel, come on, we just put some videos out. We went live yesterday or Monday.
We putting hella videos out. Make sure you subscribe to all the channels. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, we listen, and all this footage we got from Miami this weekend is dropping on all 3 channels through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So make sure, Shalom Apostle for Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Joshua Israel, everybody. You already know. Subscribe to SICARRI Water, which is WATR, and SICARRI Public Enemies. Make sure you subscribe to all of those channels. Think about making a new channel, to be honest with you, as well, in addition. But yeah, make sure, like War Dog tells upon you, said, like, sub, share, super chat, man. Getting ready to get cracking through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. A couple announcements as usual. Remember, coming up in Atlanta, Georgia, January 24th to the 27th, we got the 12th MASHARAH YASHARAHLA Hebrew Summit going down there in Atlanta, GA. So y'all be on the lookout for that. I'd love to see y'all to pull up there. What else we got? Oh yeah, this Friday, my next debate is going down with So Real, formerly of the Shield Squad. Damn, it just got super blue. It's the light, all the lights. See that? You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, with So Real on the Solar Vision Debate League, so y'all can tune in for that. And it's gonna be whose beliefs better reflect the teachings of Christ. That's this Friday. And also next Thursday, not this Thursday, next Thursday, we will be debating, most high willing, Judah Mack and his brother, I forget the brother, start with an M, on when the day starts and if there is still a necessity for water baptism. So y'all look out for all that coming up through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. You know, it's going down, man. But you know, per usual, we here like we have been the last few weeks, doing our class going into the history of Israel and portions of the Torah through, again, the spirit of power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai as his Levitical priest. You know, I'm in a real Levitical mood. have been since, since Little Haiti this past Saturday. Y'all look out for this footage of the camp in Little Haiti. MASHARAH, that's the brother's name. Khan, leader for Christ the Water. Your brother MASHARAH. What I was gonna say, but yeah, man, since Little Haiti, man, it was beautiful. Wait till y'all see this footage. You got white folks trying to gentrify Little Haiti. They got cursed out. And a whole lot of other stuff. So y'all look out for that coming. Judah and Mashcon. Y'all look out for that coming. Over all three channels: SICARRI, Water, SICARRI, Public Enemy. All right, but like, sub, share, and super chat. We're gonna start with the history today with Genesis 30. Pick up right where we left off. Genesis the 30th chapter. And we're going to read to Genesis the 33rd chapter. All right, so again, all praise Yahweh. Let's go.
Genesis chapter 30, verse 1. It says, and when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister.
See that? So Rachel had envy for Leah because Rachel was barren. Rachel was not bearing seed unto her husband. This is explained why the Most High does this in the previous chapter, like we went over last week. Because Jacob unfairly favored Rachel over Leah, he made it to where Leah had more children than Rachel did. That was literally done because Jacob practiced favoritism. This is why when we get our laws in the very next book, in the book of Exodus, we're instructed on equal treatment for our wives. If we are going to practice polygynous relationships, we must give equal treatment and equal due benevolence. The water to the sister leader for Christ. But we are to give equal treatment to all of the wives. You don't, play favorites. Even if you have a favorite, you can't play favorites. And the reason why you cannot play favorites is because it's wicked, quite frankly. So we see Jacob as being a catalyst for those laws that we see in our Torah reflecting them. All right. Go ahead.
It says, Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob, give me children or else I die. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, am I in God's stead, who hath withheld from thee the fruit of the womb?
So I can read that again.
And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said,
so Jacob is now, because Rachel's not bearing him kids, but the girl he likes a little less is bearing him kids, he gets mad at Rachel. So read that part again.
And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, am I in God's stead, who hath withheld from thee the fruit of the womb?
He's saying it's not my fault that you are not having kids. It's God that's doing it. He said, am I in God's stead, meaning am I the one that's making it so you can't have kids? Because your sister sure is popping them out at this point. She been there and had Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah. So he's saying that ain't my fault. The Most High shut your womb up, Rachel. Right? Read on.
And she said, behold, my maid Bilhah going unto her.
So Rachel said, okay, how can I rectify this? Most High ain't opening up my womb, but here, my father gave me a maidservant. Have her go into her womb, and you bear seeds with her. She'll bear me seeds on my knees, which is essentially saying that she'll become your concubine and a surrogate mother for me, right? So read.
It says, and she said, behold.
The water, Joshua, Israel, Yahweh, Shem, Yahshua, Barakatah. Go ahead.
And she said, behold, my maid Bilhah going unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her.
Bear upon my knees again means that she's a concubine, right? Who's acting as a surrogate mother. Nowadays, you got all this super sci-fi ways to have a surrogate mother, eggs and all kind of madness, having babies in vitro, what they call in vitro fertilization and things of that nature, right? In the ancient days, we didn't have Esau's sci-fi madness. What you had was, here, I have this heathen maid of mine that I will let you have sex with, or I'm basically telling you to have sex with in order for us to produce a child, and that child will be called after Rachel, because that woman who's bearing that child to Rachel is a possession of Rachel, and somebody who Rachel is saying it's her idea to bring her into the relationship. Okay, so she's bearing children on behalf of Rachel because of Rachel's inability as a possession of Rachel. That's what it means, bear me seed on my knees, right? And it's the same thing with Ruth, does the same thing on behalf of Naomi, which is how we know Ruth is not an Israelite, but it's a different topic for a different time. Read.
It says, and she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife, and Jacob went in unto her.
That's right. He had sex with the handmaid of Rachel. Okay, so here we have a man who is practicing clearly polygyny. He's on his third joint right now, right? Read.
It says, and Rachel said, God hath judged me, and hath also heard my voice.
That's right.
And hath given me a son. Therefore called she his name Dan.
Called she his name Dan. God has judged me, because Dan name is judge. What it mean, judge, right? So she called his name judge. This is Dan. Dan was the product of the concubine of Rachel and Jacob, right? Read on. But she's called. He's not technically Rachel's son biologically, but he's called Rachel's son. Right? Read on.
It says, and Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again.
Again, read on.
And bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, with great wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali.
She called his name what?
Naphtali.
With great wrestlings I have prevailed, right? So she's talking, she named the son Naphtali after the struggles that she had with the fact that she couldn't have children. So she had to give her maid to her husband, and she named these children as her own. So she said, with great wrestlings, right? Read on.
It says, when Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Zilpah, her maid, and gave her Jacob the wife. So
Leah saw 2 children be had by the concubine of Rachel. Right. Rachel's maid being a concubine of Jacob. So Leah says, all right, I got a maid too. I'm going to give her to Jacob, and I'm going to have Jacob even more kids, even though I already gave him, what, 4 kids? 4 sons? Right? Read.
It says, when verse 10, and Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. And Leah said, a troop cometh, and she called his name Gad.
So a troop was coming. So she called his name Gad after the troop that came. Right? So read.
And Zilpah, Leah's...
But all these things in the spirit have implications towards what the tribe will become. Okay? From Reuben, right? To Shemaiah, Simeon. My affliction is heard, right? Loya, joined to the Most High, Levi. Judah, Yahweh, the praise of the Most High, right? All of these things have spiritual implications also, right? Read. Their omen nomers, like the brother said. Read on.
It says,
you are right out.
It says, verse 13. I'm sorry, verse 12. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a second son. And Leah said, happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed.
You see that? She said, I'm happy. I done gave him 4 kids. I done gave him a side piece. She done gave him 2 kids. I'm at 6 kids. This, my sister, she only had 2. And she didn't even bear those. Yeshai Bangad, Yabashimel Shabrakatah soldier. Read.
And she called his name Asher.
And she called his name Asher, right? Because Asher means happy. All right. The tribe of Asher will be your so-called Colombians to Uruguayans. That's right. Colombia is what, Officer Assad?
Colombia was, according to, I want to say multiple sites, but one that comes to my recollection is the British Broadcasting, the BBC, right? And I think it was for 3 years in a row. It was off and on. They were 3 years in a row. Then maybe they come in second place. Then they come back in first place. That Colombia was voted as the happiest country in the world.
You see that? Because they're the tribe of Asher. Their name means happy. All right. These are the indicate. Even Naphtali. Naphtali, you know, it's huge. That word Naphtali in the Hebrew means wrestling. You know, it's huge in Chile. Wrestling. The women wrestling is the biggest form out there. Right. So it's no coincidence, man. All right. So read.
It says, and Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field and brought them unto his mother Leah.
So he found mandrakes and brought them to his mama, right? What you'll find out is mandrakes are what you would call an aphrodisiac, okay? A sexual stimulant. They didn't have Viagra, Cialis, Rhino 9, okay? They didn't have any of that back during the time of our foreparents. You know what they had? They had natural things that did that. One of those natural things would be a mandrake. So Reuben, the firstborn of Jacob, found mandrakes. Read on.
And brought them to his mother Leah.
Brought them to his mama, right? Read on. Thinking about his mom. Go ahead.
Then Rachel said to Leah, "Give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes."
So Rachel is begging her sister, "Give me the mandrakes that your son found." Right? Read on.
And she said unto her,
this is funny what Leah getting ready to do. She said unto her, what?
"Is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband?"
You got my man already. Read.
"And wouldst thou take away my son's mandrakes?"
You want to take my son? You done took my man and my son. You done took the nigga that I love and the mandrakes that's gonna get him aroused. You see that? This is the type of vexation that these two sisters were doing to each other. Right? Read on.
And Rachel said, "Therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes."
She said, "Look, I'm a give you one of my nights in exchange for these mandrakes, so I can have these mandrakes ready for when it's my night." Right? That's essentially what she's saying, right? Because again, you have to be rendering equality to these women, right? So you got to be dealing with these, like if you're gonna spend a day or you spend 3 days with her, you got to spend 3 days with her. That's how it worked, right? Read.
It says, and she said, verse 16, and Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him and said, "Thou must come in unto me, for surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrakes." And he lay with her that night, and God hearkened unto.
So he had sex. Rachel had sex. I mean, he had sex with Rachel, right? That night, right? Read.
And God hearkened unto Leah.
No, so like it with Leah. With Leah, basically, Leah said, "Listen, I done gave the mandrakes to Rachel, so you gotta come get with me tonight." Right? Read.
And God hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived and bare Jacob a fifth son.
A fifth son. They say what?
And Leah said, "God hath given me my hire."
God. Now listen, I need everybody to pay attention. Okay? Akim out there and sisters, y'all better highlight. This is 30 and 18, correct? Derek Yehuda, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Brakatah, and Tawada for the continual support, man. You're making sizable donations on a consistent basis, man, and that's greatly appreciated, King. This is 30 and 18, correct?
Yes, sir.
30 and 18. Everybody need to have this marked down as their Bible as what we call a polygyny or a polygamy precept. Listen close from the top of 18.
This is Genesis 30 and 18. And Leah said, "God hath given me my hire."
God hath given me my hire, right? In the margin. Let me just put it to it.
Yeah, like.
I'm good. $30 here, 18. I don't have margins on this one. Where's my backpack at? It's right there. Got my backpack from the barber shop. My other sword.
The other one, this one?
No, get my backpack. What?
Questions to the ends.
Yeah, y'all. We gonna maybe deal with questions at the end. We'll see. But y'all, these classes are long. What we got? Genesis. That isn't higher. See, this word for higher, it also means, oh, y'all can see it. Boom. It also means reward. Pull that up real quick for me. Because it also means reward. Right? So we know Yasha's car, he is hired or he for hire, but it also means a reward. Big up to the brother Robert Robinson. We got brothers I know in this truth trying to build out there in St. Lucia, man. So send us an email. I can plug you up with our brothers over there in St. Lucia from the tribe, Benjamin tribe of Levi, things of that nature, right? So read.
This is Strong's H7939. It says SICARRI, which means reward.
It means what?
Reward.
A reward, right? So let's read that again, 30 and 18.
This is Genesis 30 and 18. And Leah said, God hath given me my hire.
God hath given me my hire, or her reward. God hath given me my hire. Why?
Because I have given my maiden to my husband.
So what Leah is saying is that God rewarded her for bringing another woman to her relationship. God rewarded her for giving her husband another girl. She was rewarded by God for that. I want all you women out there that have this hard time with polygyny to put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah. Because
Go ahead.
Because I was watching what was it, Love and Basketball.
Jay Vander. Yeah, we got brothers in Canada in the London area. What's it? Where are they at? They're in it's Toronto area.
Toronto area?
No, but it's what's the city they're in? It's
Bricks. You talking about where the Soldier was?
Yeah.
Brick starts with a B.
Brampton. They're in Brampton. That's where they at, Jay Vander. So yeah, we got brothers in that area. All right. Go ahead.
But yeah, in the scene in Love and Basketball, remember when Quincy comes home to the crib and it's just silent and his mama's outside. And remember she got the
pregnancy test?
No, she got the pictures of
him with the other girl.
And she's just sitting there drinking just drinking her life away because he got another man or got a slacker.
Another woman. That's right, I can.
That's just crazy, man.
Instead, this sister's going, you know what? God rewarded me for this, right? By giving me another son. But these are all things that are looked at as curses now. Too many kids, another woman involved. This world, they're painting that out to be negative things. Well, the world that is of the Bible, you'll come to find out those are good things. Go ahead.
It says, I'm gonna keep going, finish verse 18. And Leah said, God hath given me my hire because I have given my maiden to my husband.
That's right. She has given me a hire. He's rewarded me for bringing this other woman into our relationship. I've been rewarded for that. Read.
And she called his name Issachar.
And she called his name Issachar, Yashashkar. He is a reward, or he for hire, right? Which is an implication in later times to the work ethic and the job possession of the tribe of Issachar, the so-called Mexican, right? Read.
It says, and Leah conceived again and bare Jacob the sixth son.
Bare Jacob a sixth son, and what?
And Leah said, God hath endued me.
Now, mind y'all, Issachar is not the fifth son of Jacob. He's the fifth son of Leah, so you can understand, right? Just for the record, because I seen a brother, his name is like Issachar, fifth son. It's the fifth son of Leah, not the fifth son of Jacob. He's like the eighth or ninth son of Jacob. But go ahead. Shalom to brother Shalom, man. Good to see you. Go ahead.
And Leah said, God hath endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me.
That's right. So all this time, Leah is having a struggle. And the struggle that our mother, the mother of some of us at least, the tribe of Levi's mother, tribe of Judah's mother, Simeon, Reuben, Issachar's mother. What was that last one that just was born?
You talking about Issachar?
Issachar. Somebody else just got born too.
Zebulon's pretty good. Oh, you're talking about
Zebulon. Yeah, Zebulon. My husband will dwell with me. All of the names of us that are her sons all have names implying that she thought that having this kid, you know, like these sisters nowadays say having a kid won't make him stay. Leah was a sister that had the mentality of having a kid would make him stay. Of course, Jacob didn't leave her, but it didn't. She had all these kids for Jacob, our mother Leah, and it still didn't make Jacob like her more because of how into, you know, and we're certainly advocates of polygyny thawada to the soldier, strong soldier, I can run Banashar. We're certainly advocates of polygamy. We teach it. It's certainly lawful. And we certainly are endorsers of it when done in the proper context biblically, of course. But here's just a truth. As a man cannot be in love with more than one girl at a time. A man certainly can love many women and deal with many sisters at once, certainly. But the feeling of quote unquote being in love is not something you can do with more than one woman. It's just not. But I don't believe you have to be in love with a woman to have a productive and loving and fulfilling relationship with her. And you can have that same loving and productive and fulfilling relationship with multiple women simultaneously. But as far as that in love feeling, that's something that you can only have with one woman at a time. Okay, and Jacob is a prime example of that. He was having plenty of sex with Leah, right? Having plenty of babies with Leah, having babies with her handmaid, having babies with Rachel's handmaid, but he still only ever was in love with Rachel, right? So read.
It says,
Shalom, Daniel.
and Leah said, God hath endued me with a good dowry, now will my husband dwell with me.
So in all the names, she says, look, it's a son, Reuben. She says, look, it's a son for Reuben, because she's saying, like, look, it's a son. I had a son for you. Aren't you going to love me now? Right? Aren't you going to, ain't I your favorite now? Then she has Simeon, my affliction is her. God has heard my affliction, and this son is certainly going to make him be in love with me. Still doesn't happen. She has him a third son, Loya, Levi. Join her. He going to be joined under me now. Right? Then she had another son, Yahweh, Judah. Praise the Most High. He going to love me now. 4 sons. Still ain't got it. Now she has a 5th son, Issachar. This is, I got my reward for giving him an extra woman. Now he going to love me now. Still don't. 6 sons, Zebulun. Okay, he going to dwell with me now, right? I'm going to be his preferred. He's going to make his bed with me, because that's really what the controversy is here. Where the man makes his bed. He has 2. Now he's up to 4 wives. 2 wives, 2 concubines are technically 4 wives. But who does he make his bed with? Meaning, who does he sleep with more regularly? Who is he sleeping next to more frequently? Does he just go and see you and pop you and he go home to the one he loves? That's what he was doing. He was going home to Rachel every night, no matter whether or not he had sex with Leah. Rachel was where he wanted to be. So when she says he's going to dwell with me, meaning he's going to prefer my tent over Rachel's tent now. It just never happened. Why? Because he was only in love with Rachel. So read.
It says, because I bore him 6 sons, and she called his name Zebulun.
I done had this nigga 6 sons, gave him my handmaid. She done gave the nigga 2 sons. Surely he will love me. Surely I'm his favorite now, right? That's what our mother is thinking. Read.
And afterwards she bare a daughter and called her name Dinah.
Then she had a daughter. She has 7 kids. Leah has 7. Man, listen. For not being the curvaceous one, she sure did have a lot of kids. I'm going to tell you that now. 7 kids by our father Jacob. And again, remember, the concubine had 2 more. So she's really responsible for 9 children. Right? Read. Versus Rachel's 4. Go ahead.
And afterwards she bare a daughter, and called her name Dinah. And God remembered Rachel, and God hearkened to her. And
so now at this point, now the Most High finally remembering Rachel now. All right, Rachel, I'll put you through enough. This woman that had 7 kids, right? I'll put you through enough, Rachel. Let me work with you now, right? Read.
And God hearkened to her and opened her womb.
And now he finally opened her womb. Now she can have kids. Right, read on.
And she conceived and bare a son, and said, God had taken away my reproach.
So when she has a son now, God has taken away my reproach. Now I'm not barren, because women used to be made fun of. Now you have women who look at not having kids as an accomplishment. In our culture where we come from, it's a failure for you not to have kids. And that's how it should be viewed. The Most High God said, be fruitful and multiply. That's Genesis 1. When he first creates man, be fruitful and multiply, damn it. Go and procreate and have children and be fruitful in it. Right? Now, it's an accomplishment to not have kids. Rachel finally had a son, and she said, the Most High has taken away my reproach. Read.
It says, and she called his name Joseph.
Yawasap in the Hebrew. Read.
And said, Yahweh shall add to me another son.
She said, because he gave me 1 son, I'm going to call this son Yawasap, because it's another son that's going to be added. He will add. Yawasap. He will add. That's what that means in the Hebrew. Right? And then Yawasap got so big, his descendants, that they became 2 tribes. Right? So he will add. Read on.
It says, and it came to pass when Rachel had borne Joseph that Jacob said unto Laban, send me away that I may go unto mine own place into my country.
So Jacob's like, look, man, I got 12 kids. Hold on. No, not due to the month that you're born. Dion Baker, you're of whatever tribe your father's in. That's how wrong it is to think that your tribe is determined by the month in which you were born. Because if you and your father were born in different months, that would mean that you and your father were in different tribes, and that's nonsensical. Okay? So if you're from Jamaica, you're of the tribe of Benjamin, brother. All right? If you're a so-called Afro-Jamaican. Okay? So read. That's, man, my father born in December. I'm born in October. You mean tell me my father of one tribe, I'm of another tribe? That's madness. Right? Read.
Okay. It says, verse 26, give me my wives and my children for whom I have served thee.
Look, Laban, I'm done messing with you, Give me my women, give me my kids, I'm gone. Right? This is what our forefather Jacob, he's having this argument with his uncle. Right? Read.
And let me go, for thou knowest my service which I have done thee.
That's right. You know the service. I done served you 14 years, nigga. Read.
Okay. It says, and Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I found favor in thine eyes, tarry.
Here's Laban. Now just wait. If I found favor in your eyes, wait, nephew. Read.
For I have learned my experience that Yahweh hath blessed me for thy sake.
You see that? Laban is acknowledging the reason why I'm so fruitful and blessed is because you're here. It's the same reason why the white man will not let us go. And none of our slave owners will let us go. Because as long as we're somewhere working for that place will be blessed. Our forefather, our uncle Laban was the first person to exploit us in that context. Our own uncle. Read.
It says, and he said, appoint me thy wages and I will give it.
This is just a strong precept for that to show that this is why they desperately desire us as slaves so much. Even when you go in the time of Maccabees, when we were at war with the Greeks were conquering us during that time period, it says that the Arabs was coming waiting to round us up into slavery because we are highly desired slaves and workers. That's why you see us in the context we are today, because they know having us up in there is going to make them a lot of money. They know it, right? But Laban was the first to figure it out. He watched Jacob work in his house, work in his land. And he said, man, the Lord is blessing me abundantly because this guy's here. Because Laban ain't served Yahweh. But he understood the blessings and the power of Yahweh by how Yahweh blessed him through Jacob doing work for him on his land. Now, why do you think the crops are failing in America? Because Israel is not doing it anymore. So the white man goes and do it. He's cursed from the ground. He can't do it. Those strawberry harvests out there in San Diego are huge. You know why? Because Issachar's doing it. You see that? But Trump want to put them out. Go ahead and put them out. Put his car out. We'll see that those strawberry profits plummet in Southern California. Then what? You see what I'm saying? So go ahead.
It says, and he said unto him, thou knowest how I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me.
You know how the hell I served you, nigga. Read.
For it was little which thou hast before I came.
You ain't have nothing before I got here. Now what? Read.
And it is now increasing to a multitude.
Look at this multitude I've got you of cattle. Right? Read.
And the Lord hath blessed thee since my coming.
The Lord has blessed me since thy coming. Read.
And now when shall I provide for my own house also?
Read. So Jacob's like, look, I need to go have my own house. I'm grown. I've been here 14 damn years. I've got 13 damn kids, or 12 kids at this point. I need to leave. Get me the hell out of here. I need to go. Read.
And he said, what shall I give thee? And Jacob said, thou shalt not give me anything.
Laban's like, what do you want? Jacob, I don't want nothing. I got 12 kids, 4 women. That's all I need. I'm out. Read.
If thou wilt do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep thy flock.
I
will pass through all thy flock today, removing from thence all the speckled and spotted cattle, and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and of such shall be my hire.
Look, I'm gonna just take all the speckled cattle, all the ones that aren't regular. Let me just get all of those, and I'll be out. Read.
So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when it shall come for my hire before thy face. Every one that is not speckled and spotted among the goats and brown among the sheep, that shall be counted stolen with me. It says, and Laban said, behold, I would it might be according to thy word. And he removed that day the he goats that were ring-strapped and spotted, and all the she goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and he gave them into the hand of his sons. And he set 3 days' journey betwixt himself and Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flocks. And Jacob took him rods of green poplar, and of the hazel and chestnut tree, and peeled white strakes in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods. And he set the rods which he had piled before the flocks in the gutters, in the watering troughs, when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink. And how's my reading slide? It's kind of hard to see.
It's hard for you to see, man.
I'll be all right.
With the blue light special.
I'm just making sure.
Let me get some light on you, man.
Is it all right?
You're doing well, but this is gonna help you a little bit.
No, I'll be all right. If I'm doing okay,
you're doing good.
All right.
Go ahead.
It says, and he set the rods which he had piled before. I read that 39. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth cattle ring-strapped, speckled, and spotted. And Jacob did separate the lambs, and set the faces of the flocks toward the ring-strapped, and all the brown to the flock of Laban. And he put his own flocks by themselves, and put them not into Laban's cattle.
That's right. Go ahead. So he separated his flock now, right? And this is, when you think about it, it's also a catalyst to us. We're separated. We're like the speckled flock, right? Just like he got out of there, but we're separated from everybody else too, right? Read.
And it came to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did.
Exactly. Somebody just said that. That's all in the spirit. God, Lion, Air, Yeshua. Right? So read.
And it came to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob had laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutters, that they might conceive among the rods. But when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in. So the feebler were Laban's, and the stronger Jacob's. And the man increased exceedingly, and had much cattle, and maidservants, and menservants, and camels, and asses. Yes, so Jacob got the stronger of the cattle. And that's only fair. He just worked for this man all them years.
Now, but and the thing about Jacob that still is, he knew that the speckled one, all the ones that were looked at as outcast ones, were the stronger ones, which is an indication on Israel.
Yeah, that's right.
But your average, you would look at them, the other ones that think, oh, these ones, they're pure, they're better, right?
Right.
But see, that's not necessarily the case. So Israel is on the same accord. It's all really a indication of Israel.
Yeah, that's that theme. We see that theme a lot in the scriptures of the Most High dealing with the underdog. And Israel, with blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, are we not the biggest underdogs on the planet?
Ultimately.
Want me to keep going now?
Keep going.
Genesis 31:1. And he heard the words of Laban's sons, saying, Jacob had taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's.
That's what our cousin and them hate.
Yeah.
Number one, you're popping their sisters, right? So that's a little bit of something to them, right? Yeah. Then you got the handmaid. They were like on the handmaid, right? Now you're getting the strong of the cattle. These niggas mad as hell. Well, why didn't you make your daddy great like I did, nigga? Right. Huh? Just like the same way the white man now, he upset with you. You want to leave, or you don't like America. He getting mad at you, but you made America great,
right? And
now you want to, or you asking for reparations, or you say anything like that, and they mad at you. Oh, now you want to take X, Y, and Z from us, or the Mexicans want to come up here and get benefits, right? Well, nigga, we made America great in the first goddamn place, right? So read.
It says, and Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not toward him as before. He started hating. And the Lord said unto Jacob, return unto the land of thy fathers and to thy kindred, and I will be with thee. And Jacob sent.
So it say return to what?
Return to the land of thy fathers.
And what else?
And to thy kindred.
Thy what?
Kindred.
Wait a minute. Laban is our kindred. But see that the Most High is making that separation. Yeah, he's your mother's brother. But he ain't really your kindred for real. Right? He's not only your mother's brother, he related to your grandfather, Abraham, right? But he's still not your kindred. Read.
It says, and Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock, and said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not toward me as before, but the God of my father hath been with me.
Yeah.
So he's not with me, but the Most
High is with me.
Yeah.
So the hell with your daddy, y'all mine anyway. Right? Go ahead.
Right. She called him daddy now.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm daddy now.
Yeah, I'm daddy.
I'm the one popping you, right? That's a black man, Hispanic man. No, black man want to be called daddy. Hispanic man want to be called poppy. Right or wrong? I'm making this up. No, you see what I'm saying? You know, poppy, papa.
I'm not Hispanic, but
you know, daddy, zaddy, all those things. The woman want to call you, right? I got the prospect ties. I'm not so like that. Probably newly raised soldier ties a doc. Hold on 1 second. Shalom, soldier. Shit, so we live, soldier. Tune in right now. We live on the air. All right, shalom. Soldier calling, newly raised soldier ties a doc out here in Dallas, Texas. So like I'll be right back on camp. But the black man, Hispanic man, we like to be called daddy, poppy, zaddy, papa, all that good stuff, right? So our forefather Jacob is he invented that.
Yeah.
I'm daddy now. What about this nigga? Your so-called pops?
Your so-called pops.
Yeah, I made this nigga great in the first place. Y'all seen me. And I'm laying raw to y'all anyway. I'm just speaking straight, right? So you already know when a woman gets with her nigga, he's having sex with her man. All right. Her pops is secondary to that nigga. Okay. You take it from here. Anybody in the chat, tell me I'm lying. Read.
No, they're saying amen, bro.
There you go. There you know. Where the sisters at? Sisters, am I lying?
Yeah.
Right? So read.
Poppy, daddy, all that. Where's let's see, where we at? Okay. It says, verse 6, and you know that with all my power I have served your father. With all my strength, might, and power, I done gave myself to this man. So like y'all, I done gave myself to your father, right? So read. Someone said we're gonna burn in hell. He's gone.
For what? Being honest about a story.
That's great, man.
So read.
That's hilarious. Wow. Wow. It says in verse 7, and your father hath deceived me and changed my wages 10 times.
Hey, you know how many times this read nigga ass dude, he going back and forth what he gonna give him, right? He's giving him the runaround just like a heathen, because that's what Laban was, quite frankly. He was a heathen, right? So read, even though he's your uncle, he's still a heathen, man. Right? So our forefather had heathen uncles. So is it far-fetched that some Israelites would have heathen uncles? No, it's not. So read.
But God suffered him not to hurt me.
God suffered him not to hurt me. So the Most High won't let this nigga do nothing to me, but he is trying to screw me over in this business deal. Right? So read.
And if he said thus, the speckled shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bear speckled. And if he said thus, the ringstrack shall be thy hire, then bear all the cattle ringstrack. Thus God had taken away the cattle of your father.
You see that? So whatever Laban agreed to, the Most High made all the strong cattle what Laban agreed to giving to Jacob.
Yeah.
The Most High had him in a trick bag, and then he didn't like it. Read.
It says, thus God had taken away the cattle of your father and given them to me. And it came to pass. Oh, sorry.
All right.
Verse 10. And it came to pass at the time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up mine eyes and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ringstracked, speckled, and was that bristle?
So basically, he said the Most High gave me a dream on what cattle was going to be the strongest. This is why when I negotiated terms with your father, I requested these cattle because Yahweh gave it to me in a dream. Right? Read.
And the angel of God spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, here am I. And he said, Lift up now thine eyes and see, all the rams which leap upon the cattle are ring-strapped, speckled, and gristled. Gristled. Is that gristled? Gristle. Okay. For I have seen all that Laban doeth unto thee. I am the God of Bethel, where thou
of Bethel, Bayathala, where he slept on the way. Remember, we read last week. On the way to Laban, he slept at Bayathala. This is where the temple is built. Bethel, Bayathala, the house of God, where we built that temple at. That's now laid. This is the area in Tel Arad. Okay, it's known as Tel Arad today. Read.
I am the God of Bethel, where thou anointest the pillar, and where thou vowest a vow unto me. Now arise, get thee out from this land, and return unto the land of thy kingdom.
I'm going to deliver you out of here. Now the Most High is revealing himself to Jacob. I'm going to get you out of here and go back to your kindred, Jake. Read.
And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, Is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house?
They say, ain't there nothing for us in our daddy house? Read.
Are we not counted of him strangers?
We're strange to dad now, because we with you. Dad done with us. Read.
For he hath sold us and hath quite devoured.
He said he have what?
Sold us.
He sold us. He sold us to you for 14 years of hard labor. We've been sold to you. Read.
For he hath sold us and hath quite devoured also our money.
And he took. Listen, we ain't got nothing at daddy crib no more. So we run it with you. They basically, these are two women. They came to their husband and they said, we down with you. That's what all that boils down to. In nowadays term, we rocking with you. To hell with everyone else on this earth. To hell with my father that birthed me. I'm down with you. That's why it says, for this cause, a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh. It's the same way. A woman leave father and mother and get with her husband. You got some women, they still caught up. They want to, oh, you know, my mom, my dad, I got to be close to my parents. And blase, blah. No, you get with that man and you follow that man's lead. Yeah. That man want to move somewhere. You move with that man, right? You want to get the hell away from your satanic parents. Your mother always on the phone. Then, you know, you got to go with the brother. These sisters, they have a problem with that. They said, we going to go with you. We rocking with you, period. Read.
They were really on the team. They were team players.
They were team players. These sisters was on the team. Okay. They didn't like each other. They had their little rivalry. But at the end of the day, they were determined to give our forefather babies so we can exist.
Yeah, you know, Rachel and Leah, they had a little Kobe and Shaq thing going on, a little love-hate relationship. But at the end of the day, they're winning championships.
They winning titles.
Okay, they're running that pick and roll.
Bring that out. This brother is going into it, right? So go ahead.
Okay. It says, verse 16, for all the riches which God hath taken from our father, that is ours, and our children's. Now then, whatsoever God has said unto thee, do. Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels.
He got everybody on the camel, meaning he put everybody in modern day times. You getting put in the car. Read.
Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels. And he carried away all his cattle and all his goods which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting which he had gotten in Padanaram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. And Jacob.
See, Rachel, tell you something, Jacob. And I know I got a little bias because I'm Leah's son, right? I know I got bias. But I'm going to tell you this, right? I'm going to just tell you straight. All this love for Rachel. Rachel's so great. She got this banging body, etc. Okay, cool. Rachel ass ain't give you but 2 kids. And Rachel was an idolatress. She would work. She read that part again. What Rachel did. Please. Y'all praise Rachel, right? Ephraim and Benjamin. You praise Rachel. Let's find out about Rachel. Read that.
Verse 19. And Laban went to shear his sheep. And Rachel had stolen the images.
Rachel stole the images. What's the image? The idols that Laban served. Rachel stole them. She wanted to keep worshiping daddy's gods. Read.
The images that were her father's. It says, and Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, in that he told him not that he fled.
Right. So Jacob left, but before he leaves, Here Rachel, simple behind, goes stealing his idols and hiding it because she wanted to keep worshiping him. Read.
Okay. It says, and so like in verse 21.
Bring that out, Tazapanya. No, yes, Jim Beam. Rachel was not an Israelite. There were only 13 Israelites on the earth at this time.
Yeah.
Well, Benjamin not even born yet, so
Yeah,
12.
12, yeah.
12 Israelites on the scene at this time.
12.
The kids of Jacob. So his wife can't be an Israelite. No. Read.
It says, so he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river and set his face toward the Mount Gilead.
Uh-huh.
And it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob fled. And he took his brethren with him and pursued after him 7 days' journey.
Laban is on his ass trying to get Jacob back because he knows that whole farm is getting ready to fail. Read.
And they overtook him in the Mount Gilead. And God came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night and said unto him,
The Most High Yahweh came to him in a dream by night and said what?
And said unto him, Take heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
Then Laban...
Don't speak to him good or bad, right? Have a very neutral conversation with Jacob when you catch up to him, Laban. Read.
And then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent.
Overtook him, meaning he surrounded him. Right? Read.
Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the mount of Gilead.
Mm-hmm.
And Laban said to Jacob, What hast thou done that thou hast stolen away unawares to me?
You stole from me. You stole. Right? Read.
And carried away my daughters as captives, taken with the sword.
You done got my daughters in slavery. First off, nigga, I worked 14 years for these broads. You took away my daughters in captivity. Nigga, read. The water,
something that belongs to me.
God, lion, air, Yahweh Shah Barakatah.
Scripture said, He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession.
That's right, I can.
Yeah, I took something that belonged.
I take something that belongs to me. Read on.
It says, 27. Wherefore didst thou flee away secretly and steal away from me, and didst not tell me that I might
Go ahead.
That I might have sent thee away with mirth and with songs, with tabret.
Why didn't you tell me, man? We could have had a party, nigga. I wanted to have a party, right, Reed?
And has not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters.
I want to kiss these kids goodbye, right? His sons and daughter, he's talking about the grandkids, Reed.
Thou hast now done foolishly in doing so, so doing. It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt.
I can have all these niggas fall upon you. It's just you and these little ass kids, right, Reed?
But the God of your father spake unto me yesterday.
You know, but Yahweh scared me, so I ain't gonna do nothing. Right? Read.
Saying, Take thou heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad.
Go ahead.
And now, though thou wouldest needs be gone, because thou sore longest after thy father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my goods?
Why you steal from me though? Right? You want to go back home to Pops. Father's house is not Pops is not there. He's dead. You want to go back to Pops. But you stole, right, Reed?
It says, and Jacob answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid, for I said, Peradventure, thou wouldest take by force thy daughters from me.
I thought you were going to snatch these girls from me. So I just left, right, Reed?
With whomsoever thou findest thy goods, let him not live.
Look, whoever amongst my servants here that stole from you, kill him. Jake ain't knowing that fine ass woman he loves so much, Rachel. She's the thief. You know, but Jacob, like his sons, trusts a big button to smile. Right? Read.
Before our brethren discern, thou wouldest dine with me and take it to thee, for Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them.
He had no clue. Read.
And Laban went into Jacob's tent and unto Leah's tent and into the two maidservants' tents, but he had found them not. Then went he out of Leah's tent and entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the images and put them in the camel's furniture and sat upon them. Is that like a little under the place you put underneath the like a little saddle type thing? Yeah. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said to her father, Let it not displease my lord that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of women is upon me. And he searched but found not the images.
So I want to read that part again. This is powerful. Read.
And she said it to her father, Let it not displease my lord.
We say what?
Displease my lord.
She said, Let it not displease my lord. What is she telling her father? This man's over me. I listen to him. I follow his direction. I follow his order. And I will not do anything that will make him displease him. I will displease you before I displease him. It's important. This shows the importance of a husband and wife relationship and its preeminence over all other relationships. Right? Read.
Let it not displease my Lord that I cannot rise up before thee.
I can't rise up before you. Why?
For the custom of women is upon me.
Because my Lord don't want me to rise up when I'm menstruating. So I can't get up, Dad. Read.
And he searched but found not the images.
Which is all a lie because she's hiding idols. Right? But she used a righteous thing to get her past that. Right? Read.
And Jacob was wroth and showed.
Because here's what we have to remember about Rachel. She fine as hell. Jacob loved her. She's still a heathen, right? And that just pokes the hole in that your mother has to be an Israelite doctrine. Because Israel is not born from Israelites. These are idolatrous heathen wives that Jacob had. Yeah. 4 of them that brought forth the 12 tribes. Read.
It says,
like, share, sub, super chat. Go ahead.
And Jacob was wroth and chose with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, what is my trespass?
What did I do? Now, Laban, what did I do? Right? Read.
What is my sin that thou hast so hotly pursued after me? Whereas thou hast searched all my stuff.
No, Jacob, so like it's telling him, you searched all my stuff. What the hell did I do to you? Right? They got to give you 14 years of free labor. Right? For a couple of headaches you call daughters. Read.
What hast thou found of all thy household stuff?
You ain't find nothing, nigga. You know that's how you be in a police search and stuff. They ain't find. Nigga, you got me pulled over, man. You got me put me against the wall. You done turn out the upholstery in my car. You ain't find nothing. Read.
It says, set it before my brethren and thy brethren that they may judge betwixt us both.
Whatever I stole, set it between all these people we got here, and let's see who's what. Right, Read. He popping big now.
Yeah.
Read.
This 20 years have I been with thee.
20 years. So he served 14 years. Then it's been 6 years since then. Right? He been having all these kids, etc. Read.
This 20 years have I been with thee.
Almost 3 sets of 7. Read.
Thy ewes and thy she-goats have not cast their young, and the rams of the flock have I not eaten. That which was torn of beasts I brought not unto thee. I bear the loss of it.
It's showing a law, right? Read. Can't eat what is torn of beasts. Read.
Of my hand didst thou require it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night.
That's right. Go ahead.
Thus I was in the day the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from mine eyes. Thus have I been 20 years in thy house. I have served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle, and thou hast changed my wages 10 times. Except the God of my father.
Jacob cursing this thing out. Yeah. Read.
Except the God of my father, the God of Abraham and the fear of Isaac. He called him the fear of Isaac.
He made Isaac the trouble out. Fear of the Most High, the beginning of wisdom. Right, Read.
Have been with me. Surely thou hast sent me away now empty. God hath seen mine affliction and the labor of mine hands, and rebuked thee yesternight.
Read. And rebuked thee yesterday. See that? That's how prophetic and how powerful our forefather was. He's telling him about the dream he had, right? He rebuked you yesternight, nigga. My God came and saw you, nigga. Right? Read. That's heavy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It says, and Laban answered unto Jacob, these daughters are my daughters.
These are my daughters, nigga.
That's hilarious. And these children are my children.
Yeah, all these kids? You know why? Because that's the law dealing with, that's the custom dealing with. If a servant has children in his master's house, they're the master's children. Right, Read.
And these cattle are my cattle, and all that thou seest is mine. And what can I do this day unto thee?
It's all mine, nigga. Read.
Unto these my daughters, or unto their children which they have born. Now therefore come thou, let us make a covenant, I and thou, and let it be for a witness between me and thee. It says, and Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. And Laban said unto his brethren, gather stones, and they took stones and made an heap, and they did eat there upon the heap. And Laban called it Jagar Sahadutha, and Jacob called it Galeed. And Laban said, "This heap is a witness between me and thee this day." Therefore was the name of it called Gilead. And Mizpah, for he said, "Yahweh watch between me and thee when we are absent one from another. If thou shalt afflict my daughters, or if thou shalt take other wives besides my daughters, no man is with us. God is witness betwixt me and thee." And Laban said to Jacob,
you see that? I'm going to read that part there, that last part.
"If thou afflict my daughters,"
if you do my daughters wrong by afflicting them, read.
"Or if thou shalt take other wives besides my daughters,
read.
No man is with us."
Now listen. Here's what this shows. In marriage negotiations between a father and his potential new son-in-law, a contract is negotiated. In that contract, stipulations and terms can be worked out. Of course, according to law, polygamy is an acceptable practice. Of course. But a father, in negotiating his marriage between you and his daughter, can go, if you want my daughter, she has to be your only wife. Or if you want my daughter, you can't have more than 3 wives or 2 wives. The father can negotiate those terms, and the potential son-in-law could accept or not accept those terms and potentially not get that woman a wife, right? But a father has authority to at least attempt to negotiate these terms. It's just a fact. That's why when we read, hold what you got, Exodus 22:16 real quick.
This is Exodus chapter 22, verse 16. It says, "And if a man entice a maid,"
if a man entice a maid, read,
"that is not betrothed, and lie with her,"
that is not betrothed and lie with her, read,
"he shall surely endow her to be his wife."
You see that? Because now what's happened is, if you go behind the father's back, entice this woman, she's not betrothed, she hasn't been promised, terms of, conditions have not been discussed contractually between you and her father, and you entice her to have sex with her, she has to become your wife. But the father's going to get mad. So keep reading in Exodus 22.
It says, "If her father utterly refused to
he's mad. He's mad as hell. You know why? Because he didn't get to have this conversation. He didn't get to say, okay, you can only have X amount of wives, or you need to give me X amount of shekels, or you need to do A, B, and C. He didn't get to get what he wanted out of the deal. If he utterly refuses because he's mad, he doesn't want to come to the table and negotiate terms or accept this, what happens?
If her father utterly refused to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins."
So you pay according to the dowry of virgins. You pay a minimum dowry. There is just like now you have minimums for certain things. Like you may get a fine, and it's like a minimum fine, right? Or a minimum fee for certain types of things civically in the society that we currently live in. In the same way, there was a minimum standard dowry for virgins, which I believe was 50 shekels of silver, right? So if the father was mad that you went behind his back to pop the woman, now she's your wife, but he don't want to negotiate. He's upset. He's mad as hell about it. All right, cool. Here's 50 shekels, pop, peace. I get the woman and I'm skating with her. But because you didn't want to come to the table because you was mad at the way I went about obtaining your daughter, you just get to get paid the mandatory minimum, right? Now, you can negotiate with a father and get a lesser charge, right? You can negotiate with the father and do all type of things. But if you go behind her back, all you have to give the father at that point is the 50 shekels of silver, right? So read. Because that's the minimum for a virgin. So it's in the dowry of virgins also. Remember that. Because if a woman is not a virgin, she does not get a dowry. There's not a dowry for a woman who has had sex. Virgin in that context is not alma, a young woman like it is in Isaiah 7:14. It's literally a woman who has not known a man, right? If you've known a man before, if you've had sex with a man before, a father cannot request a dowry for you. Okay? We want to make sure that's clear, right? So now let's go ahead.
It says, this is Genesis chapter 31, verse 51. And Laban said to Jacob, behold, this heap, and behold, this pillar which I have cast betwixt me and thee. This heap be a witness, and this pillar be witness, that I will not pass over this heap to thee, and that thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar.
Basically, also, so with all this, you ain't gonna have no more wives. You ain't gonna treat my daughters wrong, but also you ain't gonna come past this marker. And I'm not gonna come past it. Read.
And that thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm. The God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge betwixt us. And Jacob sware by the fear of his father Isaac.
So, read that again.
The God of Abraham and the God of Nahor.
When he said the God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, he's talking about Abraham's God before the Most High separated him from his father's house. So he's talking about the son. Laban is swearing by the son. And Jacob is swearing by Yahweh. Read.
The God of their father judged betwixt us, and Jacob sware by the fear of his father Isaac.
Go ahead.
Then Jacob offered sacrifice upon the mount and called his brethren to eat bread, and they did eat bread and tarried all night.
He swore by the fear, and it's important to understand about what swearing by the fear of his father meant. My father is afraid of the power that this deity has, which is Yahweh. I'm afraid of it. So I swear by this deity that I'm afraid of, because if I do wrong in swearing by his name, I will be punished, and I'm afraid of his punishments. That is the symbolism of swearing by the fear of something, meaning the God that your forefathers fear. Nowadays, people say, I swear to God, and they don't fear God. I swear to Jesus, on God, etc. They use all this terminology, but they don't fear God. It's very evident they don't fear God in their actions, right? So it actually cheapens you swearing to God, your lack of fear of God through your actions, right? So read.
It says, and they did eat bread and tarried all night in the mount.
So they ate. This is all things that are done to commemorate this oath that they're making between one another. Read.
And early in the morning, Laban rose up and kissed his sons and his daughters.
So he kissed them kids, right? All them grandkids. Read.
And blessed them, and Laban departed and returned unto his place.
So he went home. Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 32. It says, and Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, this is God's host.
This is God's what?
Host.
He's showing you, he's acknowledging that the angels of God are armies, are warriors for God. Read.
And he called the name of that place Mahanaim. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau, his brother, unto the land of Seir.
So he sent messengers to Seir, right? Read.
The country of Edom. And he commanded them, saying, thus shall ye speak unto my lord Esau. Thy servant Jacob saith thus, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed there until now.
Jacob, notice the phraseology he learned. He's calling Esau a master here. You know that? He's calling himself a servant. You know why? He's afraid of Esau. Because Esau is a cold-blooded killer who vowed 20 years ago to end Jacob's life. And Jacob's what? A supplanter. So he's using this phraseology to supplant him so he can get safe passage through his land, as the story will continually elaborate upon. Read.
And I have oxen and asses, flocks and men servants and women servants, and I have sent to tell my Lord that I might find grace in thy sight.
Go ahead.
And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, we came to thy brother Esau, and also he cometh to meet thee, and 400 men with him. So
here come Esau with 400 niggas. He gonna meet you. It's like when a white man bring all the police, 12 cars, one nigga arrested. Would it be 12 police cars outside? Right? Read.
It says, then Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed.
So now he's afraid. Why are you bringing 400 niggas with you, Esau? Read.
And he divided the people that was with him and the flocks and herds and the camels into two bands, and said, if Esau come to the one company and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape. So
basically he set up two bands as a decoy. If he smite one, the other one can get away. Read.
And Jacob said, O God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Isaac.
He's praying to Yahweh. God of my father Abraham, God of my father Isaac. Read.
Yahweh, which saidest unto me, return to thy company and to thy kindred, and I will deal well with thee.
Read.
I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies.
This is a very powerful prayer of our forefather Yahweh. I am not worthy of the least of your mercy, he says. Read.
And of all the truth which thou hast showed.
This is important. And all the truth thou hast showed unto me. We all should have this mentality. We're not worthy of the mercy that we obtained in this life. And we're not worthy of all the truth that the Most High has revealed to us. All this knowledge that we have in this Bible, we're not worthy to have it. So we should be thankful that the Most High gave it to us, right? So read.
It says, unto thy servant, for with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I am become two bands.
No, so Lord, we're two different bands, with two different companies now. Read.
Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he will come and smite me and the mother with the children.
I'm afraid of this murderous bastard I call a brother, and I think he's going to kill me. He's going to kill my wives, and he's going to kill my children. Deliver me, O God. Read.
And thou saidest, I will surely do thee good, and make thy seed as the sand of the sea.
He's reminding the Most High of the covenant that's been made. Thou saidest that you were going to do this for me. Well, I can't become the sand of the sea if this cracker kills. Read.
Which cannot be numbered for multitude.
And
he lodged there that same night, and took of that which came to his hand a present for Esau his brother, 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 milk camels with their colts, 40 kine and 10 bulls.
So he's bringing gifts.
20 she-asses and 10 foals.
Go ahead.
And he delivered them into the hand of his servants, every drove by themselves, and said unto his servants, pass over before me, and put a space betwixt drove and drove. And he commanded the foremost, saying, when Esau my brother meeteth thee, and asketh thee, saying, whose art thou, and whither goest thou, and whose are these before thee? Then thou shalt say, they be thy servant Jacob's. It is a present sent unto my lord Esau, and behold.
So Jacob's trying to sweeten Esau up to not get killed. Read.
And behold, also he is behind us. And so commanded he the second and the third, and all that followed the drove, saying, on this manner shall ye speak unto Esau when ye find him. And say ye moreover, behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us. For he said, I will appease him. Yes, I will appease him with the present that goeth before me.
It's genius. I'm going to appease him. He's not going to want to kill me because I'm going to use a gift to destroy his heart. Go ahead.
It says, and afterward I will see his face, peradventure he will accept me. He's going to give him a gift, and then he's going to be able to tell by his reaction.
Yeah, if he wants to kill me or not.
It says, so went the present over before him, and himself lodged that night in the company. And he rose up that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons, and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them and sent them over the brook, and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day.
This is the angel, him wrestling with the angel, or the Elohim. Read.
And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, as he wrestled with them. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go.
So Jacob's wrestling with this angel. He said, I will not let you go. Read.
Except thou bless me.
But I need a blessing to let you go. Read.
And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel.
Your name shall be called YASHARAHLA, because he has power with God. That's what that means. So because he was able to overpower that angel, the angel recognized that he, Jacob, had power with the Most High. It's the only way a human being could obtain such a thing, could accomplish such a feat. So he acknowledged that through naming him YASHARAHLA. That's how we got our name. Read.
But Israel, for as a prince, thou hast power with God and with men.
He's a prince of God. He has power with God, etc. Read.
And hath prevailed. And Jacob asked them and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face. And my life is preserved.
Panya-Allah, the face of God. Read.
And as he passed over Peniel, the sun rose up upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Therefore the children of Israel eat not the sinew which is upon the hollow of the thigh unto this day.
So we customarily do not eat the sinews of an animal, right? You want to know what a sinew is? Google it. Go ahead.
Because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the sinew that shrank. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came, and with him 400 men. Esau says, 400.
He came 400 men. He's just a devil.
Yeah.
He's a devil.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And with him 400 men. And he divided the children unto Leah and unto Rachel and unto the two handmaids. It says, and he put the handmaids and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph hindermost.
What does that mean? He valued Rachel the most, so he put Rachel last. You see that?
Yeah, in the back.
Levi, we in the middle, right? With mom.
That's okay. We should be in the front because we just killed all 400.
Yeah, we're not worried about Esau and his men
at all.
All right, we'll gladly kill these men.
Okay.
Right. So read.
And he passed over before them and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother.
Man, Jacob was playing a game.
Yeah.
He bowed 7 times to this devil.
Yeah.
Right. You had to point out.
Yeah, just not to sidebar too much, but because you got a lot of guys that say to bow means you're worshiping someone, right? So Jacob worships the devil.
I mean, essentially, what
he's a devil worshiper.
Yeah, that's what it's saying about Pops. He's a devil worshiper.
Calling my esteemed ancestor a Satanist.
Yeah, essentially, which is madness. Go ahead.
It says, and Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. I'm not gonna lie, when I first read this, when I read fell on his neck, I thought, oh my God, he killed him. It says, and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept.
This is his brother. We have to remember this. Let me angle this over because I'm going to get a little tired in the seat. Just angle this up a little bit.
Like and share the video.
Like, share, sub. What a super chat.
Destroyer 666. I'm watching you, buddy.
My eyes on you.
All right. Proskineo.
I got my eye on you.
Let me keep going. It says, and he lifted up his eyes and saw the women and the children and said, who are those with thee? And he said, the children which God hath graciously given thy servant. Then the handmaidens came near, they and their children, and they bowed themselves. Now, real quick, Slaka, I have to get this verse right quick. I have to get this precept. Because you got a lot of guys that'll go to this and say, oh, well, so you guys had this problem with Esau when Esau went and they hugged Jacob.
First off, that's his brother, okay? And when we say that's his brother, I mean like literally that's his twin brother, right? I ain't seen the nigga in 20 years, right? Factor those things in, but also factor that he's playing a game. Because he is a supplanter. Is his name not called Jacob? No, how many times a Negro get over on you? Hispanic man get over on you? Where they get it from? Where we get it from? Our father, right? Sharif.
This is SICARRI 11:28. Judge none blessed before his death. Don't judge Esau blessed before his death, for a man shall be known in his children.
Ooh. So how we really know about Jacob and Esau, we analyze the individuals' lives. How we really know them is through their descendants' lives. Because remember, Esau vowed in his heart to kill Jacob. He never did it. So who does do it? The Edomites, right? So go ahead.
Also, this is SICARRI chapter 30, verse 4. It says, though his father died, yet he is as though he were not dead, for he hath left one behind him that is like himself.
That's right. So he left his ungodly brood, the Edomites, to fulfill his satanic lust of killing Jacob, which is us. Read.
It says, while he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him, and when he died, he was not sorrowful. He left behind him an avenger against his enemies.
You see that? An avenger against his enemies. You see that? Who's the avenger against the enemies of Esau, which is Jacob? His kids. Go ahead.
And one that shall requite kindness to his friends. That's just going to a child, basically being like their father is going to be what their father wants.
That's right.
Let me go back. I just had to bring that up.
That's beautiful.
This is Genesis chapter 33, verse 6. And the handmaidens came near, they and their children, and they bowed themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So we all just worship the devil then, right?
Yeah, essentially.
And Leah also with her children came near and bowed themselves. And after came Joseph near and Rachel, and they bowed themselves. And he said, what meanest thou by all this drove which I met? And he said, these are to find grace in the sight of my Lord.
So Esau asked, well, what's all this about? He's like, I'm trying to find grace in your sight. Go ahead.
Okay. It says, and Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Keep that thou hast unto thyself.
Judah, I don't see that in the ingredients side. I need some proof. They said that years ago. They ain't had that in years. I see carbonated water, high fructose corn syrup, caramel color. This don't look
I say you're just playing.
I'm tired, man. I gotta drink this Coke a little bit, man. Leave me alone.
That was good. That was great.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, I me think about it too. I don't even drink Coke, but I was down.
I'm just a little tired, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead. I meant to take a nap before class. I didn't. But go ahead.
It says, and Jacob said, nay, I pray thee, if now I have found grace in thy sight.
Judah almost had me, man. I was like, damn, man. This nigga knows.
Right.
Go ahead.
If now I find grace in thy sight, then receive my present at my hands. For therefore I have seen thy face as though I had seen the face of God, and thou wast pleased with me.
That's right. So Jacob he's playing the game, man, for the sake of his life, because he knows the nature of the cold-blooded killer, evil twin Esau that he has. Right? So read.
It was like I saw an angel of the Lord.
He's like I saw an angel, man. I saw an angel of the Lord. He's playing him. Go ahead.
Take, I pray thee, my blessing that is brought to thee, because God hath dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough.
He said, look, I'm going to give you this gift. The Most High been gracious unto me. I want to get this peace offering. I ain't seen you in a dub. Read.
And because I have enough, and he urged him, and he took it. And he said, let us take our journey, and let us go, and I will go before thee. And he said unto him, my Lord knoweth that the children are tender, and the flocks and herds with young are with me. And if men should overdrive them one day, all the flocks will die. Let my Lord, I pray thee, pass over before his servant, and I will lead on softly, according as the cattle that goeth before me, and the children be able to endure, until I come unto my Lord unto Seir. And Esau said, let me now leave with thee some of the folk that are with me. And he said, what needeth it? Let me find grace in the sight of my Lord. So Esau returned that day. So
Esau said, look, let me leave some of my niggas that I got. Let them leave me to accompany you. Jacob like, nah, well, for what? No, we don't even need all that, right? So go ahead.
And he said, what needeth it? Let me find grace in the sight of my Lord. So Esau returned that day on his way unto Seir. And Jacob journeyed to Succoth and built him a house.
Succoth, which is a booth or a tent. Read. That's what that means. That's what you deal with the Feast of Tabernacles. All right, it's in a tent. Okay, when we dealt with the original tabernacle in the wilderness, before the temple was built under Solomon, it was a tent, or it was a Succoth. Read.
And Jacob came to and made booths for his cattle. Therefore, the name of the place is called Succoth.
See that, booths or tents. Read.
And Jacob came to Shalem, a city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, when he came from Pen-Daram and pitched his tent.
Put down around, or the Syrians, put down around. Go ahead.
His tent before the city. And he brought a parcel of field where he had spread his tent at the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money.
The children of Amor, A-M-O-R?
I told you, where were you? By parcel field, he had spent his tent. Hamor, H-A-M-O-R.
Go ahead.
Shechem's father for 100 pieces of money, and he erected there an altar and called it El-El-O-He Israel. That's it on 33.
Let's take a look at that. Let me take a look at that. That word. Pull that word up for me in the Hebrew. We got this blue. Yeah, Julia. I usually because I usually get a nap in before these classes. Like I say, okay, I'm
The mighty God of Israel.
The mighty God of Israel. Okay, come. That's what the name of that altar is. But, you know, usually I get a little nap in. Then you know what I'm saying. What chapter we at?
That's the end of 33.
That's the end of 33.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's end on the Torah. I mean on the history. So that's done. Let's go to the Torah now. And we're going to start at 19 in Leviticus. And we're going to read to the end of Leviticus 23.
This is Leviticus chapter 19, verse 1. It says, And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, Ye shall be holy, for I, Yahweh, your God, am holy. Ye shall fear every man his mother.
So the Most High is separate. So because the Most High is separate, he's a separatist, and he's encouraging us to have that same ideology of being separate. People often criticize the separatist ideals and philosophy that we employ, not understanding that that's what makes us holy. That's what makes us God-like. God didn't say, I'm going to come into every nation. He said, I'm going to come to Israel. So he is holy in that. So we're holy as the people he came to, as his people. We're supposed to follow the lead of our Abanawa, our heavenly Father. Right, read.
You shall fear every man his mother and his father, and keep my Sabbaths. I am Yahweh your power. Turn ye not.
What's like it? Read that part again.
You shall fear every man his mother and his father.
Every man shall fear his mother and his father. Meaning you don't treat your mother and your father as just some light thing. Right? They need to be respected. Okay? Read.
It says, I am Yahweh your God. Turn ye not unto idols, nor make to yourselves molten gods.
That's right. Don't go into idolatry. Don't go and make yourself gods. Right? Read.
I am the Lord your God, and if ye offer a sacrifice of peace offerings unto Yahweh, ye shall offer it at your own will.
At your own will. Meaning when you give that peace offering, you bring that peace offering to the temple, you give it at your own will. It's a free will offering. You're not pressured. You're not feeling obligated. You at your own free will are supposed to do this, right? So read.
If ye offer a sacrifice of peace offerings unto Yahweh, ye shall offer it at your own will.
No sheepskin. Dinah did not get an inheritance because women do not get inheritance. Okay, men get inheritances, right? There's not a Dinahite tribe. She went and got with them Hamites, right? Read.
It shall be eaten the same day ye offer it, and on the morrow, and it ought remain until the third day.
Good point, Jake. Good point, Judah Nazareth. As we say, like, sub, share, super chat, man. Gotta get them likes up. Like brother saying, but 60 likes is damn near. It's over 200 people in, right? Get them likes up, right? Go ahead.
It shall be burnt with fire, and if it be eaten at all, on
what shall be burnt with fire? So like, read the part again.
It's like Leviticus 19:6. It shall be eaten the same day ye offer it.
So that's dealing with the peace offering. You deal with a peace offering, it's got to be eaten the day it's offered. Read.
And on the morrow, and if it ought remain unto the third day, it shall be burnt with.
Wait, read that part again.
And if it ought remain unto the third day,
no, before that,
it shall be eaten the same day.
It shall be eaten the what?
The same day you offer.
The same day, if what?
If it on the morrow.
If it what?
And on the morrow.
And on the what?
And on the morrow.
See that it said the same day and on the morrow. What's the morrow? The daytime. So what does that mean? When does the day start? Read that. Spoiler alert, nigga. Read. Look, I didn't even know about that one. That just hit me. We're going to put that in the repertoire. Spoiler alert. Read on.
You tune in. And if ought remain unto the third day, it shall be burnt in the fire.
It shall be burnt in the fire, right? So basically after 3 days, the peace offering sacrifice, that meat can't remain within 3 days. If it hasn't been eaten, it just got to get burnt. Thus saith the Most High. Read.
And if it be eaten at all on the third day, it is abominable.
It's abominable. It's like an unclean food at that point. It's abominable. So we, the priests, couldn't eat that on the third day. Read.
It shall not be accepted.
What verse was there real quick?
7. That's verse 6.
Don't know the one.
Leviticus 19:6. Yeah, that's the one you're looking for the day.
That's a great one.
We're gonna go into some stuff, buddy.
Oh, praise Yahweh, Shemi Shai. The Most High reveals the secrets to his servants, the prophets, in that Thawara, in that Torah, man. Go ahead.
I gotta read this Torah, man.
That's right. Well, it's all right. Y'all not out there reading it. Don't worry. Tune in Tuesday nights or Wednesday mornings. We're going to read it for you. Read.
It says, therefore, everyone that eateth it shall bear his iniquity.
Everyone that eat it got to bear iniquity for it, man. It's a sin. Read.
Because he hath profaned the hollow thing of Yahweh, and that soul shall be cut off from among his people.
So it can't be around. Read.
And when ye reap the harvest of your land,
when you reap harvest, read.
Thou shalt not wholly reap the corners of thy field.
Meaning you don't, if you got a vineyard, you don't go and reap the corners of that, man. You get them interior trees. You don't wholly reap the corners. You don't just get every single thing like the devil the Bible speaks of would do.
Yeah.
Read. That's what it said in Obadiah. If grape gatherers came by night, would they not leave some grapes?
Yeah.
Because you know what this is? You didn't need EBT in ancient Israel.
Yeah. Because
you wouldn't wholly reap the harvest. You're leaving those exterior trees for a purpose. That's welfare. That's what that is. Okay? That was our system to ensure that all of Israel had food to eat. You had the Levitical priesthood, right? Levites, we wasn't doing work. We didn't have a 9 to 5. We ministered of the Lord, right? But that's what tithes was for, to make provision for Levi, right? But then you had widows and you had orphans and you had Israelites that may have been born in other lands who may have left those other lands and came to Israel, but they didn't really have a place of inheritance, right? So what would happen? Those individuals would come and join Levi, and we would use the tithes to also care for the orphans, the widows, and those Israelites born in strange lands that came to repatriate to Israel. See that? So that's how the Most High had it set up. There was everyone was taken care of. Everybody ate in Israel through the spirit and power of Yahweh. Yeah, right. Go ahead, Shalom, officer Rayabi Magan. Go ahead.
And that's why you're not supposed to, when you go to war, you're not supposed to destroy the trees, because that's what you're supposed to use for food. That just shows you how stupid that the so-called white man is.
Yeah, the Most High said, you go to a place, you about to besiege a city, you outside the city, you see a tree that bear fruit. Why would you cut that down? You eat from it. Cut the trees down that don't got no fruit. Yahweh, this Torah is just perfect. It's just perfect, right? So go ahead.
Yeah, that's why the scripture says that, what is it? The fir trees of Lebanon shall rejoice at thy fall.
That's right.
Because nature is going to rejoice when the so-called white man falls.
That's right.
It says Leviticus 19:9, and when you reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not wholly reap the corners of thy field, neither shalt thou gather the gleanings of thy harvest. And thou shalt not glean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thy vineyard.
That's right. You ain't getting every grape. You leave that grape on the outside because some people may need it. Right? Read.
Thou shalt leave them for the poor and stranger. I am Yahweh your God. You shall not steal, neither deal.
You shall leave it for who?
The poor and the stranger.
You have poor Israelites.
Yeah.
They could come by your vineyard and they could eat freely. That was like a welfare system that we had for people who were less fortunate. Right, Reed?
You shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another. And you shall not swear by my name falsely.
Salakia. 1 second. Now I'm getting kind of cold. I don't understand what's going on. It's a strange night.
Want me to keep on?
Hold on, just hold it.
Let's see. Yeah, you're supposed to share your garden with the poor.
That's right.
But that's why we're supposed to look at each other like brothers and sisters, because if your brother comes, not gonna, even Proverbs say what man shall not despise a thief if he
still to
satisfy his soul.
He needs something to eat. You see?
You cold right now?
Yeah, I got kind of. I don't know. Something's up.
Maybe because you drink it.
Yeah, it's cold. It's cold. Yeah, real quick though, y'all, I got the Love Yours shirt by Love Yours, fringes by Hebrew Israelite Clothing Co. jacket, exclusive from Hebrew Israelite Clothing Co. Man, real quick, I just want to get those plugs in. Read that part, Leviticus 19.
Leviticus 19:12. You shall not swear by my name falsely.
You shall not swear by the name of Yahweh falsely. Right? Swear to God, swear to God, swear to God.
Yeah.
No, that's not his name, but that's the spirit of it, right? Read.
Neither shalt thou profane the name of Yahweh.
Neither shalt thou profane the name of Yahweh. You don't just take it lightly. Read.
I am the Lord.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor.
Thou shalt not what?
Defraud thy neighbor.
Israel is not supposed to defraud. We're not supposed to be screwing each other over.
Come.
We're not supposed to be defrauding one another. Read.
Neither rob him.
Neither what?
Rob him.
Robbing one another. Yah son imuna. Yahweh Shemel Shabrakatah the water. We're not supposed to rob other Israelites.
Yeah.
Read.
The wages of him that is hired.
The wages of him that is hired, read.
Shall not abide with thee all night.
This is crazy. All what?
All night.
Until what?
Until the morning.
Until the morning. So, if somebody works for you, you pay them at the end of that workday. That's the law of God.
Yeah.
When your brother works for you, you pay them at the end of that workday.
You know, bi-weekly.
Ain't no every other Friday, nigga. I need money today. That's how just our God is. The white man will make you wait 2 weeks, and if you're new to the job, 3 weeks for your cash. God said you get your cash at the end of every day you work. They only do that at, I think, labor rate. They're calling it something different now, I think. That's the only place where they pay you at the end of day. That's a system that God set up. Somebody works for you, you give them their money at the end of each respective workday. Right? Just like if you get fired from a job or you quit, you're supposed to get all the old wages that day. I bet a lot of y'all didn't know that. You got to understand your civil rights. So when you get fired or you quit these jobs, you still waiting a week or 2 weeks to get your last check, or we mailing out your last check. No, they have an obligation to give you all of that money that day. Just so you know, understand your rights. Read.
Come. It says, thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but shall fear thy power.
It said you should not curse the deaf, right? Nor put a stumbling block before the blind. So that's dealing with, I was crazy. I was just going over this in Miami. But it's basically telling us to treat people who are disabled, right?
Come.
Right? So read.
Come. Of our nation. I am Yahweh. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor.
So we said, the water to the brother he chose Israel. Yahweh Shemel Shabrakatah. Read that part again.
It says,
it's important as well. Go ahead.
Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment.
So we do not do unrighteousness in judgment. You don't ever judge unrighteously. You always judge righteous judgment. It's going to elaborate. Read.
Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor.
You don't respect the person of the poor. How do you respect the person of the poor? You are inclined to side with him because you feel bad because of his socioeconomic position. Right? So you say, I want to be on his side because he's poor. Right? I'm kind of rooting for the underdog on this one. That's not how judgment works. If he's wrong, he's wrong. It doesn't matter if he's poor, rich, whatever. You judge righteous judgment. You don't have you don't take his side because you feel sorry for him. That's what it's telling you. Read.
It says, nor honor the person of the mighty.
Nor the mighty. You don't take somebody's side because you're afraid of them. You don't take somebody's side because they have more money or less money. You don't take sides based off anything but who's right and who's wrong. Right? Who is that? Son of Gad. Yahweh Shemel Shabrakatah. Son of Gad. Question. Do our laws apply to our dealings with the other nations? Some do, some don't. So that's why you have to take a look at the law. Is it saying not to do this to another man? Is it saying not to do this to your brother? If it say don't do this to a man, like you don't commit adultery with a man's wife, then you can't do it to any nation, right? But if it say don't rob your brother, read.
He also is it unlawful to defraud an Elamite.
No, it's not considered unlawful to defraud another nation at all. It's only considered unlawful to defraud another so-called Black, Hispanic, Native Indian, one of the 12 tribes of Israel. Why do you think the Jewish man that stole our custom now, he defraud everybody in the earth but another Jew? Where did he get it from? From you. From our laws. From God. That he gave to us. So read.
It says, thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people.
Shade room is against God. What's another one? The baller report is against God. TMZ against God.
The war in Chirac,
DJ Academics, a sellout, a wicked nigga, right? Read.
Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am Yahweh.
Standing against the blood of thy neighbor, this is important. If you see a so-called Negro, so-called Latino, and your fellow Israelite brother, and he is being unjustly attacked, it seems as if his blood is going to be shed for an unjust cause. You don't stand against it. You don't just let that happen. You step into that situation. You diffuse that situation. You know what that means? I'm going to tell you how detrimental that means. That means that you may, in ancient Israel, let's say a brother was going to kill another brother. If he didn't want to stop, you was going to have to kill that guy who was trying to kill him if he didn't have a justifiable cause. That's how serious it was. So that's a very important law as well. And that's something that you should spiritually apply to situations where you see two brothers about to fight. A lot of times we're trained to go, that's not my business, and keep it pushing. You see a brother and a sister having a domestic dispute, and it may look like it is getting physical. It could even be beginning getting physical. We're trained to go, that's not my business, and keep it pushing. But pursuant to that law, we actually should be inserting ourselves in those situations and trying to de-escalate those situations, or else we're standing against the blood of our neighbor, right? So read. And our neighbors are any so-called Israel, any so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Right, read.
Not like damn Lucky from Port of Jazz. Remember when they were fighting on the cliff?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's their business.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's our people. That's how we are. I was like that. I was raised like that. If it ain't had nothing to do with me, I'm keeping myself out of it. Right? But that's not how we're supposed to be. This is why we need the laws so desperately through the spirit and power of Yahweh. Like the brother Shalem said, the law is heavy. It's so heavy. And it makes it, you can see how great the God gave it to us to be great, and how great that we once were when we followed it, and how great we can become again. Young killer. Okay, all praise to the Most High. So yeah, we're so great. We're made so much better with this law, and this is why our people desperately need to follow it. So read.
It says, "Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart."
Do not hate another so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian in your heart. Let me tell you something. Kodak just had Kodak just had a interview, Breakfast Club, right? I'm checking it out. Levi, man. Levi. What did Tahar do? What did Tahar do? What did Tahar do? I'm Levi, right?
That's right.
Right? We funny, right? Because we get on Kodak Black. He done said some madness. He's done some madness. He needs to repent. He knows better. He knows the truth. But Levi is always going to rally behind another Levi. It's just always going to happen. So when Ebro, that's why when you see Ebro did that, all these Haitians start threatening Ebro's life, right? Automatically, Ebro will kill you, essentially, right? You see them niggas in the video?
No, I didn't see that. Yo, I already know.
They said, Ebro, if you keep talking about Kodak, we're going to kill you. Haitian Fresh gets on the Instagram live. Ebro, I'll beat the hell out you. I'm spared your life. I'm done sparing it, talking about Kodak Black, right? But this fool Kodak Black, right? Our misguided brother who desperately needs to call his priest, okay? Priest Gahan or Priest Amawan, and report to those priests at once, whom he knows, who visited his ass in jail, all right? Yashar Tazadak, the Wadi Yabashmash Abrakata, who visited his ass in jail, who taught that brother the truth of the Bible, who had him saying, I'm an Israelite, my diamonds Israelites. He needs to report. This dude said he left Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Because he didn't want to be around black people.
Yeah, that nigga's crazy.
You harboring hatred in your heart, brother. You said you don't want to go to Haiti because they'll eat you there. What type of... What type of stupidity is that?
Ignoramus.
That's retarded.
Madness.
It's madness out. But here you are. You do a Zoe song. You know all this Zoe stuff. Haitian flag everywhere. right? And you're gonna say something stupid like that. All of us mad at you for that. But with the stuff with Ebro, we ain't gonna show it publicly. I'm gonna show it publicly. I'm gonna open rebuke you, nigga.
Yeah.
Us in the truth, we gonna openly rebuke you. And you know better, and you know who you need to call, nigga. You know. But that's off, man. That's hatred in your heart. You don't want to be around black people. I just came from Florida. I love Florida.
I want to go there.
I love Florida. So you know why I love Florida so much? Damn it, because Levi is everywhere. We damn running South Florida. Right? But see, he hates his fellow Haitian man. I get to Florida, we're just everywhere. It feels great. I told this brother, listen, we finished camping in Little Haiti. Our brother hits the corner. What's up? Where's GUERRILLA Hebrew? I'm the tribe of Levi. I must speak to him. You see what I'm saying? We get nothing but love out there, man. But he wants to escape that and go live around the crackers in Calabasas, just like Kanye and the rest of them Negroes. Why they want to move to Calabasas? Drake, they want to move to Calabasas. Don't y'all know there's other places in Southern California that you can move to that aren't as hipster as Calabasas now? Calabasas is like the hipster thing to do.
Well, you see,
there's other places. You know, they got a whole county called Orange County you can live in that's nicer than Calabasas, right? But go ahead.
You see what Kodak said? I'm a suburban dude. You ain't see that?
Oh, he's
I'm a suburban dude.
You a suburban dude. You out on bail, nigga. You a suburban dude. Let's be real here. It's just madness, though. Our people, but it's a display of a harborance of hatred in your heart for your people that is against the commandments. That's why we need it so much. And damn it, Kodak, you're a Levite, like the brother. Y'all gonna see this footage coming out. Dealing with a Levite brother that came out of camp in South Beach. You're a Levite. This is Leviticus, meaning pertaining to the Levites. You should know this. Read that law again.
This is Leviticus 19 and 17. It says, "Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart." There
you go. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. That's a problem that our people have. Harboring hatred towards one another. Read.
It says, "Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor."
And how you love is through rebuke. So we're showing love that we have. That's why we're rebuking Kodak on this. Because we're showing love. I'm not just going to pretend to love you. I'm going to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of your music, nigga. I'm not. But we love you, right?
Well, that's Skrilla.
Well, I like a couple of his joints. We're going to be twisted, but I'm not like a huge guy. I'm not riding around listening to Transport and Roll in Peace. That's just not I don't like those songs. I'll be real with you. Right? But we love you, right? And again, this is a little bit closer to home because I am close with brothers who taught you simple behind the Bible.
Yeah.
Right? That you wouldn't taught, you teaching people Wycliffe. We didn't try to Levi, which Wycliffe already knew. Right? But go ahead.
That niggas from damn New York, bro. Everybody and their mama in New York know they was like, but this is Proverbs 27 and 5. Open rebuke is better than secret love.
There you go.
But this is Leviticus 19, and I'll finish it out. It says, "Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him."
That's right. You shall in any wise rebuke your neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. That's love. Read.
It says, "Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people."
Against you don't have a grudge on the children of your people. Your people, your fellow so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you don't bear a grudge against. Read.
It says, "But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself."
That's right. You love your fellow so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, your fellow neighbor, like you love yourself. That applying that principle would improve our communities exponentially. Exponentially. Love your brother like you love yourself. Read.
I am Yahweh.
I am the Most High Yahweh. Meaning the Most High, He is the self-existent one. Shalom MASHARAH. The self-existent one is commanding us to love one another as we would love our own self. These principles. And then that's why Yahweh Shah says, do unto others as you would have done to yourself. He's just repeating what's in the Torah. He's rephrasing it a little bit, but conceptually, he's not saying new things. He's reintroducing these original concepts. He's actually simplifying a lot of stuff. But this is just apparently it's just too hard for a Negro. Hispanic man at this time. When we love and start to treat each other as we would treat ourselves, we'll see exponential change in our communities. Period. Right? So read.
It says, "You shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind."
You shall not let your cattle gender with a diverse kind. So you're not supposed to be mingling cattle. Okay? A horse and a donkey should not be coming together and making a mule. Okay? According to the Bible. Read.
It says, "Thou shalt not sow thy."
Want to go red? Hold on.
We going red.
We go red. Real quick.
Oh, that's kind of cold.
That's pink. This is red. How does the red look?
Yeah, I like the red.
I don't like it.
I like the red.
It looks good here, but I don't like how it looks on camera.
What y'all think about the red?
How y'all like the red? Real quick.
This is gonna be great for a beige rage, man.
No, oh yeah, we doing all the beige rages with this.
They say it's
gonna be better too if we record it as opposed to streaming.
No, I think they say someone's saying keep the blue, someone's saying don't care, dope, cool. It looks brighter with red. Red is cool. I don't know. I think we should just keep it red.
Border it blue. Oh, get that Edom light off.
Where?
So we should get that. You're not a fan of the red.
Oh.
So I don't want to do it.
Let's try green.
No, I mean, no, it's the Zoe room. Right? It's blue or red. It's blue or red. Blue is a little.
Why is Elzar in the Bat Cave? It's the Zoe.
This is called the Zoe room. Okay, we turn it into the Zoe room. Purple.
I think we should either blue, red, or purple. The red just looks a little sinister though. It looks like, you know them.
Nah, it does look kind of sinister.
You remember them? You know them with the what is it, a Polaroid picture? You got to put it in like a little water.
Yeah, we're in the dark room. We're in the dark room. Yeah, you know what? It is a little sinister. We're going back. Let's go back blue. We need that nice deep blue. There we go. Okay, go ahead.
So, Leviticus chapter 19. Verse 19, "You shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind. Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed. Neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon thee."
Okay, so read that again.
It says, "Neither shall a garment of mingled linen."
Before that.
This is Leviticus 19 and 19. "You shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind."
Right, so the different types of cattle, the different kinds of cattle shouldn't be intermingling. Read. Or shouldn't even be around each other, shouldn't be plowing the field together. Read. Go ahead.
"Thou shalt not sow thy field with a mingled seed."
Thou shalt not sow thy field with a mingled seed. Spiritual application. The spiritual application is dealing with women is really not supposed to bear children to multiple men. Not a verbatim law, but you can see the spirit of it. Woman being a field, diverse seed, different men's seed, or having bearing seed to different nations of men. These are things that shouldn't happen. Read.
It says, "Neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon thee."
You should not wear mixed fabrics. Make sure you're checking your tags and the things that you're wearing are 100% fabric. Read.
It says, "And whosoever lieth carnally with a woman, that is a bondmaid betrothed to an husband, and not at all redeemed, nor freedom given."
So, read that.
"And whosoever lieth carnally with a woman, that is a bondmaid betrothed to an husband."
If you have sex with a woman that's betrothed to somebody, read.
"And not at all redeemed, nor freedom given her,
read.
She shall be scourged, and they shall not be put to death."
So, because of that situation, she shall be scourged, she shall be punished, but not death. Right? Read.
"Because she was not free."
Because she didn't really have too much of a choice. Read.
"And he shall bring his trespass offering unto Yahweh, unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, even a ram for a trespass offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering before Yahweh, for his sin which he had done, and the sin which he had done shall be forgiven him."
Read.
It says, "And when he shall come into the land and shall have planted all manner of trees for food, then ye shall count the fruit thereof as uncircumcised. 3 years shall it be uncircumcised unto you." So you plant a tree, it grows fruit,
That first 3 years that you planted that tree, it's uncircumcised. Read.
It shall not be eaten of.
But you don't eat any of that those first 3 years. Read.
But in the 4th year, all the fruit thereof shall be holy.
It's good. So a tree has a Sabbath. A tree has a lifespan where it's told when it's uncircumcised. A man is 8 days. A tree is 3 years. Read.
To praise the Lord withal. And in the 5th year shall ye eat of the fruit thereof, that it may yield unto you the increase thereof. I am Yahweh your power.
Read.
Ye shall not eat anything with the blood, neither shall ye use enchantment.
So you eat anything with the blood. You make sure you cook your food and it's not bloody. Do not eat your meat bloody. Neither what?
Neither use enchantment.
Witchcraft, magic, voodoo, Santeria, brujeria. All them various things a lot of our people do, Gadites doing all type of magic enchantment. You can't do it. That also goes along the lines of drug use. Drug use is enchantment. Lean, weed, crack, Xannies. That's enchantment. Read.
It says, nor observe times.
No what?
Nor observe times.
Horoscopes.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do that. All right? When we're waking up talking, we're gonna read. You know what? I wanna say how stupid this is. I wanna see something. Get out of these damn horoscopes, man. Let me show you how stupid this is, right? So they call me a so-called Scorpio, right? Okay, cool. And this brother, right? Watch this. Tell me if this fits you. Scorpio, life around you today almost seems like a bad dream.
It was a good start to the day.
I'm coming off a powerful trip from Miami.
I had a good dream, matter of fact.
Greatest trip of my life. This brother had a good dream. You know. My kids are coming back from being out of town. I can't wait to see my kids, right? I'm clicking, I'm vibrating at a high level. This is telling me that life seems like a bad dream. But I'm supposed to believe this? You got to have people that really believe this BS. It's almost as if people are talking, but nothing intelligible is coming out of their mouths. We're going into new breakdowns, revelations. Okay. Perhaps 2 people close to you are having problems getting along.
This is 2 people specifically. Yeah. Nice try. Bro.
Perhaps. I mean, number one, I'm going to tell you how crazy this is, right? I'm going to tell you how crazy this is, right? It's so ambiguous, this madness, that it can almost fit anybody, but it just so happens that it doesn't fit us at all. You feel like stepping in and telling them to calm down and really listen to each other. What conflict are we looking to come?
I feel like these are all recycled, and there's like a couple idiots who this actually is somehow applicable to, and they just, oh my God, see they're 2 friends, Jessica and Rachel, and they were going crazy yesterday, and I tried to intervene, and I got into a fight at the bar. You know, something crazy, some madness.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. But you want to observe times. Read.
Okay, it says, nor observe times. You shall not. What'd you say?
No, the Kamaya saying people read that and literally will live their day by it instead of living their day by the laws of God. It's stupid.
Yeah, we're idiots for reading the Bible, but you go on the goddamn internet and read something some white man wrote about you.
You get a daily
life.
You get a daily text message that tells you what your day is going to be like, and you only mention that your horoscope said it on the days that it actually fits, which is the minority of the days of the year. Read.
Yeah, give me $5. I'll text you some motivation for the day.
Right now. Okay.
I'll give you. It's Leviticus 19 and 27.
Bring it out.
You shall not round the corners of your heads. Neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard.
Them line-ups, man. Lining the hairline up, lining that beard up. Thou shalt not do that, thus saith the Most High. Read.
You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh.
You're not cutting your flesh. Read.
For the dead. Nor print any marks upon you. I am Yahweh.
Nor what?
Nor print any marks upon you.
Don't get tattoos. That's the printing of marks upon you. You don't cut yourself for dead people. You don't print marks upon you. I've seen heathens cut themselves for dead people. Israelites were not to do that. Printing marks upon you, getting tattoos. And what's coming out is a lot of that ink that a lot of you idiots are covering your beautiful melanated flesh with, you Hebrew Israelites I'm talking to.
Yeah.
You essays with your whole face blasted. You Judites with your whole, you Levites with 3 goddamn crosses on your face. Huh? You guys putting on all that tattoo, it's seeping into your blood and causing cancer. The white man got you.
Brains.
It's killing your brain cells, son. So read.
Leviticus 19:29.
The law is life, man. Read.
It says, do not prostitute thy daughters to cause her to be a whore.
Do not make your daughter into a whore. You got a girl, she's from Dallas, Texas, beautiful sister, by the name of Asian Doll, right? She told a story on Halloween. Her mother dressed her up as a damn whore, a literal whore, for Halloween. Bible said, thou shalt not make thy daughter a whore. Read.
It says, lest the land fall to whoredom and the land become full of wickedness.
See that? So now people that prostitute their daughter, now the whole Israel is a damn whoredom. Black and Hispanic woman is a damn whore in large. When I went to Las Vegas in October, almost every prostitute I saw was a so-called black woman. Guess what? I just came from Miami. Saw a lot of prostitutes, about half as many as I saw in Vegas, but I saw a lot of prostitutes, sisters, selling a body, right? The whole land is filled with a whoredom. Read.
It says, ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary.
You shall keep my Sabbaths. You shall reverence my sanctuary. We reverence the temple. We respect it. We honor and keep and uphold the Sabbath of the Most High. Read.
It says, I am Yahweh. Verse 31. Regard not them that have familiar spirits.
Regard not them that have familiar spirits that deal with being psychics. God says, do not regard a psychic. Read.
Neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them.
Right. Don't go to the voodoo priest. Don't go to the Santeria priest. Don't go to somebody who practices Ifa or any of this madness. Do not go to them, thus saith the Most High. Read.
To be defiled by them, I am Yahweh, your God.
Yes, because you'll be defiled by them. Yahweh is our God. That's who we seek counsel from, and his priests. Read.
Bring that out, Simeon. Okay. It says, thou shalt rise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man.
Meaning you honor your elders. The hoary head means the person with gray hair. You honor the elder, right? The elder of your people. Read. But again, honoring them does not mean not telling them when they're wrong. It also says, be not ashamed to be not ashamed to inform the extreme age. Don't be ashamed to rebuke somebody just because they're an elder. You love your parents, but if they're wrong, don't be afraid to tell them they're wrong or call them out for being wrong or acknowledge their wrongs. That doesn't mean you don't honor them. A lot of our people have a misconstrued ideology and concept of what honoring is. It's not honoring somebody to lie about what they did to make them look good. That's not honoring. By any stretch of the imagination, that's not honoring. It's honorable to hold a person in the proper esteem and also be truthful about who they are and what they've done. Julius Harris. All right, go ahead. We got brothers in Philly, Jordan Carter. Shalom, Sean Foster. Go ahead.
It says, and if a stranger sojourn with thee in your land, ye shall not vex him.
That's right. Don't vex your stranger. Read.
But the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you.
Meaning, if somebody who was born outside of Israel shall be treated just like somebody born inside of Israel. You know why? Because they're an Israelite. They're the seed of Jacob. Period. It's who they are. Doesn't matter what their mother is. It doesn't matter where they were born. All these various things and excuses that our people find to vex each other and outcast each other and hate each other. It's already been told to us in our laws not to do that. And if we simply followed them, we wouldn't have these problems. We wouldn't have colorism. We wouldn't have classism. We wouldn't have ageism. We wouldn't have regional beefs. We wouldn't have gangbanging if we simply follow the laws of God. Read.
It says, but the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you, and thou shalt love him as thyself, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am Yahweh your God.
There you go. Read on.
It says, ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment, in meat yard, in weight, or in measure. Just
so you don't do fake measurements. You do a just balance. Read.
Just balances, just weights, a just ephah and a just hin shall ye have. I am Yahweh your God.
Read on.
Which brought you out of the land of Egypt. That's what I should say in Proverbs 11:1 that a false balance.
Abomination. Yeah. That's right.
Therefore shall ye observe all my statutes and all my judgments and do them. I am Yahweh. That's the end of 19. This is Leviticus chapter 20 verse 1. I am Yahweh, and Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, again, thou shalt say to the children of Israel, whosoever he be of the children of Israel, or of the stranger that shall join in Israel, that giveth any of his seed unto Molech, he shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones.
Yeah, somebody worship Molech through the form of animal sacrifice, they had to die. Read.
And I will set my face against that man and will cut.
Hey, Planned Parenthood got an owl program. Y'all remember that? Read.
And I will set my face against that man and will cut him off from among his people, because he hath given of his seed unto Molech to defile my sanctuary and to profane my holy name.
Read on.
And if the people of the land do any ways hide their eyes from the man, when he giveth his seed unto Molech and kill him not, then I will set my face against that man and against his family, and will cut him off and all that go a whoring after him.
So if you don't kill a man, God is going to kill his whole family. So kill the man. That's what is being said in the Torah when we had our sovereignty. Read.
To commit whoredom with Molech from among their people, and the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits, and after wizards to go a whoring after
somebody
them.
who wants to go into a voodoo botanica or a santeria botanica or a brujeria botanica. Right? Read.
I will even set my face against that soul.
God is against anyone who does that. He's against them. Period. Read.
And will cut him off from among his people.
And will cut him off from among his people. Read on.
Sanctify yourselves, therefore, and be ye holy, for I am Yahweh your God.
He says, sanctify yourselves and be holy. Don't go to the wizard. Don't go to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry.
Yeah. Don't go to goddamn Hogwarts either.
All right. Hogwarts is going to crash. Okay. You know, they got a damn Hogwarts store, Orlando Airport. They got a store. Read.
It says, and ye shall keep my statutes and do them. I am Yahweh which sanctify you.
Molech is. Where's my wallet at? I put my wallet right here. There's Molech. There we go. He's right here on your dollar bill. You see that one? There's an owl sitting on top of that one. Okay? Here's Molech, right on your dollar bill. Okay? Read.
It says, and ye shall keep my statutes and do them. I am Yahweh which sanctify you. For everyone that curseth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death.
That's right. You don't curse your father or mother. All right. You don't wish death on your father or mother. All right. Read.
He hath cursed his father or his mother.
Now, you don't wish death, but if your father or mother is worthy of death, then that's just what it is. That's on them. All right. Read.
His blood shall be upon him.
Go ahead.
And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife.
An adulterer. Read.
He that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife. The adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death.
You see, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death.
Yeah.
Read that part again from the top.
This is Leviticus 20:10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife.
The man that doeth what?
Committeth adultery.
With what?
Another man's wife. Another man's wife.
Read on.
Even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife.
Read.
The adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death.
That's an important law. It tells us two things. If she's not married and you have sex with her and you are married, it's not adultery. That's not adultery. Because it says he that committed adultery with another man's wife, meaning you have sex with somebody else's wife. So if you're married and you have sex with another woman and she doesn't belong to somebody else, she's now also your wife. You have 2 wives or 3 wives or however many wives. 1. 2, it says, he that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even his neighbor's wife, substantiates that adultery, as other laws of fornication, are universal laws that are applicable to all nations. Therefore, you can't have sex with another nation's wife the same way you can't have sex with another Israelite's wife. That's why it said another man, then it says even your neighbor. So meaning this is applicable to all nations. All right, read.
It says, and the man that lieth with his father's wife hath uncovered his father's nakedness. Both of them shall surely be put to death.
That's right.
Their blood shall be upon them.
Read on.
And if a man lie with his daughter-in-law, both of them shall surely be put to death.
If you lie with your son's wife, you gotta die. Read.
They have wrought confusion. Their blood shall be upon them.
Straight confusion. He's her father-in-law. That's confusion. Read.
Come. This is Leviticus 20:13. If a man also lie with mankind, as he lies with a woman,
somebody commits a homosexual act. Read.
Both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death.
It's death worthy to be a homosexual, thus saith the Lord. Read.
Their blood shall be upon them. And if a man take a wife and her mother, it is wickedness.
That's right. You can't have a woman and her daughter. It's wickedness to have a woman and her daughter. It's disgusting. Read.
They shall be burnt with fire.
You shall be. You don't just get to die if you have sex with a girl and her daughter. You get to be burned with fire if you have sex with a girl and her daughter. Read.
Both he and they, that there be no wickedness among you. And if a man lie with a beast, he shall surely be put to death.
Bestiality is a death-worthy sin. Okay, read.
It says, and if a man lie with a beast, he shall surely be put to death, and ye shall slay the beast.
And that beast got to go.
Okay.
All right? No matter if it was a willing participant or not. It's got to die.
Verse 16.
Go ahead.
And if a woman approach unto any beast and lie down thereto, thou shalt kill the woman and the beast. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. So
you got the devil that wants to go into Mexico and watch a dime donkey show, right? This is a known thing. All the Haitians that are now in Mexico, you should be killing the participants in that. That's all I'm saying. It's your job. Go ahead.
Cool. It says, and if a man take his sister, his father's daughter, or his mother's daughter,
his sister, his father's daughter, his mother's daughter, she could be your sister, your so-called half sister. She's still your sister. Having sex with her is incense. If you take her, what should happen?
And see her nakedness, and she see his nakedness, it is a wicked thing.
In the context of sex, read.
They shall be cut off in the sight of their people.
They shall die. This does not mean the 2 little kids get bathed in the same bathtub. This means in a sexual context, if they approach into one another in a sexual context, they get cut off. Read.
You have uncovered his sister's nakedness, he shall bear his iniquity. And if a man shall lie with a woman having her sickness, and shall uncover her nakedness, he hath discovered her fountain.
That's right. Having sex with a woman on her period, right? Read. Is wrong according to the Torah. Read.
And she hath uncovered the fountain of her blood, and both of them shall be cut off from among their people.
That's right. You gotta be cut off for that. Read.
And thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy mother's sister, nor of thy father's sister.
You can't have sex with your auntie. Read.
For he uncovered his near kin, they shall bear their iniquity. And if a man shall lie with his uncle's wife, he hath uncovered his uncle's nakedness.
You said you can't have sex with your uncle's wife. It's adultery. But it's your uncle's nakedness. The same way an uncle can't have sex with a niece. Read.
They shall bear their sin, they shall die childless. And if a man shall take his brother's wife, it is an unclean thing. He hath uncovered his brother's nakedness, they shall be childless.
I mean, they shall die childless. And their children is not going to be reckoned as their children. Read.
It says, ye shall therefore keep all my statutes and all my judgments, and do them, that the land whither I bring you to dwell therein spew you not out.
Yeah, it's possible. Azrael. Go ahead.
And ye shall not walk in the manner of the nation which I cast out before you.
Don't be like the Canaanites. Read on.
For they committed all these things, and therefore I abhorred them.
God hates them for all their fornication. It's the principal reason he hates them. For fornication and sacrificing kids. Read.
But I have said unto you, ye shall inherit their land, and I will give it unto you to possess it, a land that floweth with milk and honey. I am Yahweh your God, which have separated you from other people.
Go ahead.
Ye shall therefore put difference between clean beasts and unclean.
That's right, showing you the importance of the clean animals. There should be a distinctive difference between animals that are clean to eat and animals that are unclean to eat or to touch the carcass of. Read.
And between unclean fowls and clean.
And
ye shall not make your souls abominable by beasts, or by fowl, or by any manner of living thing.
That's right. So eating pork and all these various things make your souls abominable. Okay? But as Yahweh Shai amplified on this topic, the thoughts in your mind make you even more unclean than an animal ever could. Because as soon as you have, processed and, released the toxin of these abominable animals from your system, you're back clean. But if your thought process is wrong, it's a difficult thing to reprogram yourself to be clean again. Right? So read.
That creepeth on the ground, which I have separated from you as unclean. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I, Yahweh, am holy, and have severed you from other people.
He's what?
Severed you from other people.
God cut us from other people. That's why we shouldn't be congregating with them, trying to graft them in, make excuses, etc. We've been severed. We've been separated from these people by the Most High Yahweh. Read.
It says that you should be mine.
And we should be what?
That you should be mine.
For the Most Highs. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabrakatah, Wata Wata, to the sister Miss seeking wisdom. Read on.
Verse 27. A man also.
I gotta stand back up, man.
A man.
Go ahead.
A man also, or woman that has a familiar spirit, or that is a wizard, shall surely be put to death.
People who deal with necromancy, a voodoo priest, sanctuary priest, etc., should be put to death. Thus saith the Most High. Read.
They shall stone them with stones.
They shall what?
Stone them with stones.
Pick up them rocks and stone them. You know what happened? Something happened in Haiti. There was a cholera outbreak. The cause of the cholera outbreak was the East Indian UN troops that were in Haiti, and some had got into the water supply, right? But a group of Levites rose up, and they said, now the real reason for this cholera outbreak is because God is punishing us because of voodoo. And they proceeded to take machetes and go and kill voodoo priests and priestesses around that area, right? They were moving in the spirit of Leviticus, whether they knew it or not during that time, right? And they need to repent and come back to keeping the laws and faith on Mashiach, right? So read.
A man also or woman that have a familiar spirit, or that is a wizard, shall surely be put to death.
Real quick, lioness of Ahia, it doesn't say that anywhere in the Torah, nor do we teach or believe that, nor does any Hebrew Israelite camp, I don't believe. So read.
They shall stone them with stones, their blood shall be upon them.
That's right. Go ahead.
This is Leviticus 21:1. And Yahweh.
We're only at 21.
Yeah.
Most High Christ. Read.
Yeah. It says, and the Lord said unto Moses, speak unto the priests, the sons of Aaron.
The who?
The sons of Aaron.
In specifics, these commandments are going to Aaron's sons. Right? Read.
It says, and say unto them, there shall none be defiled for the dead among his people.
So it said, if you are an Aaronite priest, you can't go around a dead body. Read. This isn't for all Levites. This is for the Aaronites in particular. Okay, read.
Is that all right?
No, this is fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay, it said, okay, sorry. It says, but for his kin that is near unto him, that is for his mother and for his father and for his son and for his daughter and for his brother.
So an Aaronite can only go to the funeral of his nearest kin: son, daughter, mother, father, brother, sister. These are the only people, one of the sons of Aaron. These are only funerals that an Aaronite priest can attend. If he happened to be also a Nazarite, he can't attend no funerals. But an Aaronite was only allowed to attend the funeral of his closest family. Read.
It says, and for his sister a virgin that is nigh unto him.
His sister a virgin that's nigh unto him. Meaning if she hadn't been married yet. If she was married, he couldn't go to his sister's funeral. You know why? Because she belongs to somebody else's house now. Read.
That is nigh unto him, which have had no husband, for her may be he defiled. But he shall not defile himself, being a chief man among his people, to profane himself.
So a chief man amongst Israel, like an Aaronite priest, cannot attend funerals. Thus saith Yahweh. Read.
They shall not make baldness upon their head,
Uh-huh.
neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard.
That's right. This is a reiteration of Deuteronomy 19. So it's applicable to all of Israel. But it's reiterating it and singling it out for the Aaronites. Also in this instance. Read.
Nor make any cuttings in their flesh.
Uh-huh.
They shall be holy.
Again, just like it said not to make cutting in your flesh earlier, also in the law. It's just reiterating it again. The law is repetitive. It's redundant because our people have a hard time getting very simple instructions. So it redundantly repeats itself. There's a whole book. It's called Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy is the second law. Why is there a need for a second law that just repeats everything that Leviticus, Numbers, and Exodus already told us? Why is that important? Because our people are stiff-necked and hard-headed, and we have to be told multiple times to get things through our thick candy shells we call skulls. Right? So read.
It says, they shall be they shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh.
The rabbi thinking that means they leave a curl coming down. No. Don't line your beard up. Don't make cuttings in your flesh. Read.
They shall be holy unto their God, and not profane the name of their power.
That's right. It's not becoming of an Aaronite priest to profane the name of Yahweh. Read on.
For the offerings of Yahweh made by fire, and the bread of their God they do offer, therefore shall they be holy.
That's right. Go ahead.
They shall not take a wife that is a whore, or profane, neither shall they take a woman put away from her husband.
So an Aaronite priest cannot take, read that part again.
They shall not take a wife that is a whore.
A what?
A whore.
If the woman was a hoe and you're an Aaronite priest, you couldn't deal with her. Read.
Or profane.
Or that profaned in any way. Read.
It says, neither shall they take a woman put away from her husband.
If a woman was previously married and is no longer married, an Aaronite could not take her to wife. Read.
For he is holy unto his God. Thou shalt sanctify him therefore, for he offered the bread of thy power. He shall be holy unto thee, for I, Yahweh, will sanctify you.
He shall be holy unto thee, meaning to all of Israel, an Aaronite priest is holy. Read.
It says, and the daughter of any priest, if she profane herself.
If the daughter of these Aaronite priests profane herself, how?
By playing the whore.
By being a whore. These are these Haitian strippers and prostitutes running around. I saw Haitian strippers in Miami. I just seen some, right? So this would apply to them. If there was a Haitian stripper, what should happen? Read.
It says, she profaneth her father, she shall be burnt with fire.
She has to be burnt in a fire. See that? Read.
It says, and he that is the high priest among his brethren.
He did his what?
The high priest
among
his brethren.
So now it's getting into specifics of the high priest of the tribe of Levi. So of all the Levitical families, the Aaronites are the chief, and out of the Aaronites comes the high priest, what they would call the Kohen Gadol or Kohen Gadol, right? Read. Which a chief priest and a high priest are different things. A chief priest in the Hebrew is called a Ra'ash Kahan or a Reish Kohen. A high priest is called a Kohen Gadol or a Kohen Gadol, meaning a great priest. Ra'ash, which is chief, also means a head priest. But a chief priest, a high priest, a great priest is over a head or a chief priest. Just so you can understand who is the acting high priest of the nation and the functioning currently in the celestial context, Hamashiach Yahushua, of whom Moses spoke nothing concerning priesthood. Under the order of Melchizedek, there is currently not a standing Levitical Aaronite high priest. Not currently. There will not be one again until Yahushua establishes his kingdom on earth and appoints the sons of Zadok to reign in that priesthood state. Okay, so y'all can understand. But read.
It says, and he that is the high priest among his brethren, upon whose head the anointing oil was poured, and that is consecrated to put on the garments.
That's right. There's a special ritual for how a high priest is anointed. Right? Shall not what?
Shall not uncover his head, nor rend his clothes.
That's right. He's going to have that mitre on, the bonnet, the turban, and a certain clothing on. Right? Read.
Neither shall he go into any dead body.
He can't go into any dead body, read.
Nor defile himself for his father or for his mother.
See that? He's just like a Nazarite. He can't go to nobody's funeral. If you're a high priest, read.
Neither shall he go out of the sanctuary, nor profane the sanctuary of his God.
Uh-huh.
For the crown of the anointing oil of his God is upon him. I am Yahweh.
That's right.
And he shall take a wife in her virginity.
He shall what?
Take a wife of her in her virginity.
You take a wife that has never had sex with somebody else. That's a commandment for a high priest. Read.
It says, a widow or a divorced woman, or profane, or an harlot.
Any woman that has ever had sex in any context with another man, read.
These shall he not take.
A high priest can't take. So when you deal with the various high priests, the succession of high priests that we read about in Scripture, from Eleazar to Phineas, all the way to Eli, that later goes on to Zadok, and the various other high priests, they only dealt with women who had never, ever had sex with another man. Right? By law. Read.
It says, but he shall take a virgin of his own people to wife.
A virgin of what?
Of his own people.
So not only was he taking a virgin, a woman that never had sex, he's only taking another Israelite. So he's taking a young Israelite woman of marriageable age that had never known another man. That's the only people, that's the only wives a high priest was allowed to take. So read.
It says, neither shall he profane his seed among his people, for I, Yahweh, do sanctify him. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto Aaron, saying, whosoever he be of thy seed.
Hold on. Check the tape.
Video.
Is there audio?
Is there audio? Can y'all hear us? No wonder we lost so many viewers. Yeah, we lost like almost 100. Nah, it's froze. Here, or can't see it nor hear.
What about now?
Nope.
Give it a second. No, it ain't the Wi-Fi. We're not on Wi-Fi. We hardwired.
Nope, still nothing. So peaceful.
We back? We back. We good?
Yeah, we good now. We good.
All praise Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Man, we ain't got no U-verse, man. I'm hardwired, so that can't be it. I'm not on no Wi-Fi or nothing. I'm straight. I'm not running laptops. I'm running processing power. I'm running hardwired Ethernet cores. My nigga, like, I shouldn't have this problem. So that's how I know it's not the internet connection. I'm doing all kind of stuff. You see? So read.
Khan.
Oh, maybe I need to pay my bill. Go ahead.
It says, speak unto Aaron, saying, whosoever he be of thy seed, and their generations that have any blemish, let him not approach to offer the bread of his God.
So that blemish are defined elsewhere in the law. So read.
It says, for whatsoever man he be that hath a blemish, he shall not approach a blind man or a lame, or that he hath a flat nose or anything superfluous.
See that those superfluous things, disabilities. If there's an Aaronite that's born with disabilities, he wouldn't be able to act as a priest. Read.
Or a man that is broken-footed or broken-handed.
See, read.
Or a crooked back, or a dwarf, or that have
a midget, somebody who's the hunchback in Notre Dame. If an Aaronite looked like that, they couldn't come up in the temple. Read.
Or that have a blemish in his eye, or be scurvy, or scabbed, or hath his stones broken.
Or be a scurvy or a scab, or has his stones broken, be unable to produce children. All right, he wouldn't be able to be a priest of God. Read.
No man that have a blemish of the seed of Aaron, the priest shall come nigh to offer the offerings of Yahweh made by fire.
You ain't gonna be able to offer offerings by fire to the Most High in the temple. You wouldn't be able to do that if you had any of those issues. Read.
He hath a blemish, he shall not come nigh to offer the bread of his God. He shall eat the bread of his God, both of the most holy and of the holy.
He shall what?
He shall eat the bread of his God.
He shall eat. He can eat it, but he can't offer it on fire. All right, because these holy things, those are made for the provisions of the houses of the Levites. Period. Right? Conspiracy. How about me? I shall break the water for the extra 5 on the spectrum bill. Go ahead.
It says, both of the most holy and of the holy. Only he shall not go in unto the veil, nor come nigh unto the altar.
But he better not go into the veil, nor come nigh to the altar. Why?
Nor come nigh to the altar, because he hath a blemish.
Read. So because of that, he can't come near. Read.
That he profaned not my sanctuaries, for I, Yahweh, to sanctify them.
Go ahead.
And Moses told it unto Aaron and to his sons and to all the children of Israel. That's the end of 21.
Let's go on to 22.
Okay. This is Leviticus 22:1. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto Aaron and to and to his sons, that they separate themselves from the holy things of the children of Israel, and that they profane not my holy name in those things which they hallow unto me. I am Yahweh.
Meaning, you do the ritual as directed by the Most High. It would be profanation for you to incorrectly do these rituals. Right? So read.
Say unto them, whosoever he be of all your seed among your generations that goeth unto the holy things which the children of Israel hallow unto Yahweh, having his uncleanness upon him, that soul shall be cut off from my presence.
So you don't eat of the holy things having your uncleanness upon you. This means if you just had sex, you can't come and eat of the holy things until even wash your body in water. Right? Read.
I am Yahweh. And what man soever of the seed of Aaron is a leper, or hath a running issue,
if you had a leprosy or gonorrhea, read.
He shall not eat of the holy things.
You can't eat if you got the drip, you got clap. You can't eat of the holy things, brother. Read.
Until he be clean.
Until you be clean, then you can come. Right? Read.
And whoso toucheth anything that is unclean by the dead, or a man whose seed goeth from him, or whosoever toucheth any creeping thing, whereby he may be made unclean, or a man of whom he may take uncleanness, whatsoever uncleanness he hath, the soul which he hath touched, any such shall be unclean until even.
Right. Again, y'all, this is redundant. If y'all been paying attention to the weeks, we've read over similar phraseology continuously in the law. It's redundant for a purpose. Read. Until
even, and shall not eat of the most of the holy things unless he wash his flesh with water. And when the sun is down, he shall be clean, and shall afterward eat of the holy things.
What's that?
Leviticus chapter 22, verse 7. Yeah, like and share the video again, so the brothers and sisters that left.
Bring their ass back. Read.
I don't think you just get out of class.
That's right. You better get in class. You better let these Levites teach you this law. Read.
It says, and when the sun is down, he shall be clean. He shall afterward eat of the holy things, because it is his food.
It is what?
His food.
It is what?
His food.
The Levites' food is the holy things. All right. Read.
It says, that which dieth of itself, or is torn with beast, he shall not eat to defile himself therewith. I am Yahweh. They shall therefore keep mine ordinance, lest they bear sin for it, and die therefore. If they profane it, I Yahweh do sanctify them. There shall no stranger eat of the holy thing. A sojourner of the priest or an hired servant shall not eat of the holy thing.
It said they shall no stranger. In this instance, a stranger means not a Levite.
Yeah.
The other tribes are strangers right here. Anyone who's not a Levite cannot eat this. Read.
It says, slacking. What is that? Slacking. Verse 8, that which died with self or is torn with beast, he shall not eat to defile himself therewith. I am Yahweh.
What's this?
How was that? Is that all right?
No.
Let's do it on the street. Look at damn Esau doing it again. Y'all hear us? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear us.
It should be able to hear
It
us.
should be able to. I don't know why that thing.
Oh, let me just check it. Let me take a look. It might have.
Probably the phone.
The phone died. Yeah, the phone died. I think.
Okay, they can still hear us though.
That's fine.
Let's keep on.
Go ahead.
It says, they shall therefore keep mine ordinances, lest they bear sin for it and die therefore. If they profane it, I will do sanctify them.
Mm-hmm.
There shall no stranger eat of the holy thing. A sojourner of the priest or an hired servant shall not eat of the holy thing. But if the priest buy any soul with his money, he shall eat of it, and he that is born in his house, they shall eat of his meat.
Go ahead. Because all those that are in the house of the priest eat of that meat. Right? Read.
If the priest's daughter also be married unto a stranger, she may not eat of an offering.
So if you're a Levitical woman and you have this priest for a father, but you marry a non-Levite, you can't eat that no more. You joined into that house. That's fine. He's a brother, but you can't eat of the holy things no more, sis. It's over. So read.
She may not eat of an offering of the holy things.
Uh-huh.
But if the priest's daughter be a widow.
Hold on real quick. Lioness of Ahia. Who's the Most High? Let's just wait. Let's just wait.
Who's the Most High? Tazapani, you should have hidden him.
Hold on. Yeah, y'all gotta chill out.
Unhide him. I unhid him.
Okay. Lioness, it's a girl. Lioness of Ahia. Who is the Most High?
Gathering of Christians congregation. The creator of all the universe.
Okay. What's his name? But when I say who is the Most High, I'm asking you to tell me the name.
Oh, she gone now.
See that? She just said that she's the Most High. Y'all see that? I asked, what's the name of the Most High? I am. She's the Most High. That's what she said. She said she doing this. See, them Ahia cats is bugged out. Because they're literally saying that they are the Most High. That's Satanism. That's 33rd degree Masonry. Now, Tazapanya, get her the hell out of here. Read.
This is Leviticus chapter 22, verse 13. But if the priest's daughter be a widow or divorced and have no child and is returning to her father's house.
If she be widow or divorced, she didn't have any kids, she's coming back to the house of Levi. Read.
As in her youth, she shall eat of her father's meat, but there shall no stranger eat thereof.
Now she can come back and eat, now that her husband is dead, if she don't have no kids. But if she have kids now, the kids will be taking care of her, right? So read.
And if a man eat of the holy things unwittingly, then he shall put the fifth part thereof unto it.
That's right. So if you eat of the holy things and you didn't know it was the holy thing and you wasn't supposed to eat it, right? You shall take the fifth part, meaning 20%, read.
And shall give it unto the priest with an holy thing.
So the 20% of whatever was worth, you offer it back up as an atonement for you ignorantly eating the holy thing. Read.
It says, and they shall not profane the holy things of the children of Israel, which they offer unto Yahweh.
Read on.
Or suffer them to bear the iniquity of trespass when they eat their holy things, for I Yahweh do sanctify them.
Go ahead.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto Aaron and to his sons, and unto all the children of Israel, and say unto them, whatsoever he be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers in Israel, that will offer his oblation for all his vows, and for all his free will offerings, which they will offer unto Yahweh for a burnt offering, ye shall offer at your own will a male without blemish, or the of the beeves of the sheep, or of the goats. It says, but whatsoever hath a blemish, that shall ye not offer, for it shall not be acceptable for you. And whosoever offereth a sacrifice of peace offerings unto Yahweh to accomplish his vow, or a free will offering in beeves or sheep, it shall be perfect to be accepted. There shall be no blemish therein. Blind or broken or maimed or having a wen or scurvy or scab, ye shall not offer these things unto Yahweh, nor make an offering by fire of them upon the altar unto Yahweh. Either a bullock or a lamb that hath anything superfluous or lacking in his parts, that mayest thou offer for a free will offering, but for a vow it shall not be accepted. Ye shall not offer unto Yahweh that which is bruised, or crushed, or broken, or cut, neither shall ye make any offering thereof in your hand.
So a healthy animal is what has to be offered. Go ahead.
It says, neither from a stranger's hand shall ye offer the bread of your God of any of these, because their corruption is in them, and blemishes be in them, they shall not be accepted for you.
Yeah, we're not taking from a stranger's hand and giving that offering to the Most High. You keep taking it out of your own hand. Read.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, when a bullock or a sheep or a goat is brought forth, then it shall be 7 days under the dam. And from the 8th day and thenceforth it shall be accepted for an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And whether it be cow or ewe, ye shall not kill it and her young both in 1 day. And when ye will offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving unto Yahweh, offer it at your own will. On the same day it shall be eaten up. Ye shall leave none of it until the morrow. I am Yahweh. Therefore shall ye keep my commandments and do them. I am the Lord. Neither shall ye profane my holy name, but I will be hallowed among the children of Israel. I am Yahweh which hallowed you.
That's right. The name Yahweh, not a higher, Yahweh, should always be hallowed amongst Israel. It should be taken seriously. Respect should be put on that, and we should reverence that as the name of the Most High that's in the law. You can't say the law, and you not hallow the name. It's oxymoronic for you to act as if you're a Torah follower, upholder, and teacher, and you're not putting respect on the name of the Most High, because sanctifying it and hallowing it is a commandment in the Torah redundantly. Read.
It says, that brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Yahweh. That's the end of 22. Right?
Okay, let's go to 23. Go ahead.
This is Leviticus 23:1. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feasts of Yahweh, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is a Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is a Sabbath of Yahweh in all your dwellings. These are the feasts of the Lord, even in holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. And the 14th day of the first month at even is Yahweh's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto Yahweh. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread.
Start that over.
This is Leviticus 23:4. These are the feasts of Yahweh, even holy convocations.
So these are the high holy days. Okay? I'm going to give you a spoiler alert because I don't want to wait. Hanukkah, Purim. These are not high holy days. They're not. Just so you know. They're holy days. We observe them. They're great. There's nothing wrong with them. We did that. But they're not high holy days. High holy days are very specific times that are the most holy days of the year. Okay? Conspiracy 515, just look up SICARRI Lunar Sabbath on the YouTube. And you'll find out. And through the spirit and power of Yahweh. So right now we're observing Thursday to Friday. Okay? These are the high holy days. You have holy days. Holy days would be your weekly Sabbath, or a day like Hanukkah, or Purim, the Feast of Nicanor, the Feast of Simon, these other things that we later instituted and observed in our history. But the high holy days are only seen here in Leviticus 23, right? And they are only to be observed as stated here in Leviticus 23. Anything outside of that, and in the case of Passover, Exodus 12, anything outside of that is added later, is traditions of men. Leviticus 23 defines, tells us how to determine when these things happen, etc. All here. Leviticus 23 is the pivotal chapter for understanding the Hebraic calendar and the feast days and the observance thereof. The pivotal chapter. Right, Reed? Okay. I got other ones on there, though. If you just look up Sabbath, SICARRI Sabbath, things will come up. Otherwise, 80. So read.
These are the feasts of Yahweh, even holy convocations, which he shall proclaim in their seasons.
Yeah, and tells upon you. Make sure you push the Exodus 17:15.org. .org. Okay? .org is what we doing now, right? So read.
These are the feasts of Yahweh, even a holy convocation, which he shall proclaim in their seasons. In the 14th day of the first month at even is Yahweh's Passover.
In the 14th day of the first month at even is the Most High's Passover. The 14th day of the first month is the Passover. Read.
And on the 15th day.
And on the what?
15th day.
Read on.
Of the same month.
Of the same month. What happened? The next day, read.
Is the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
Is what?
The Feast of Unleavened Bread.
Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread are two different things. I'm going to say it again. Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread are two different, two separate, two distinctive high holy days that run concurrent, that have similar stipulations, but are separate and different in themselves. The 15th is a Sabbath. The 14th is not a Sabbath. Sabbaths come in the 1st, the 8th, the 15th, the 22nd of every month, pursuant to the lunar calendar. The 15th is one of those days. That's when the Feast of Unleavened Bread starts. The night before, or the day before, starting at even, is what? The Passover. That is not a Sabbath in the sense that the 15th is. And you'll see it in the stipulations regarding the observance thereof, right? Because on this Passover, the 14th, you got to cook. You can't cook on a Sabbath. But you have to cook on the Passover. Why? Because the Passover is not a Sabbath, but it is certainly a high holy day. So read.
Come. It says, and on the 15th day of the same month is the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
Read on.
7 days you must eat unleavened bread.
Read on.
In the first day you
shall... Hold on. Read slow.
Come.
And what?
In the 7 days you must eat unleavened bread.
Read on.
In the first day.
In the first day what?
You shall have an holy convocation.
Uh-huh.
You shall do no servile work therein.
Wait a minute. That's a Sabbath. In the first day you have a holy convocation. You do no servile work therein. Why did it say you do that on the 14th? Why did it say you do that on the Passover? Because it's not a Sabbath. This also proves cohesively through the spirit and power of Yahweh the lunar Sabbath. 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd. Because the 14th, they didn't say you don't do any servile work in the holy, it's a holy convocation. But you observe something. Who is that? Yeshar Tazadak, Yahweh Shemiah again. Read.
It says, in the first day you shall have an holy convocation.
The 15th, read.
Ye shall do no servile work therein.
But
ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh 7 days.
Read.
In the 7th day it is in holy convocation.
What day is that? That is the 22nd. You see how that's in cahoots and cohesive with the lunar calendar and the lunar Sabbaths? You see that? Read.
Ye shall do no servile work therein. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye be come into the land which I give unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then ye shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest unto the priest. And he shall wave the sheaf before Yahweh to be accepted for you on the morrow after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it.
On the morrow, after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it. Watch this, read.
And ye shall offer that day when ye wave the sheaf as an he lamb without blemish of the first year for a burnt offering unto Yahweh. And the meat offering thereof shall be 2/10 deals of fine flour mingled with oil, an offering made by fire unto Yahweh for a sweet savor.
Read on.
Real quick slide, not just a sidebar. The same word for mingled when it's same one in Hosea 7:8. Yeah, mix himself among the people. Okay, so
hold that 1 second. Read on.
Yeah, so no clown try to go to Hosea 7:8 and tell you it's not talking about mixing. It's literally the same word that's used here and making basically a concoction. Okay, it says, and the meat offering thereof shall be 2/10 deals of fine flour mingled with oil, an offering made by fire unto Yahweh for a sweet savor, and the drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the 4th part of a hin. And ye shall eat neither bread nor parched corn nor green ears until the selfsame day that ye have brought an offering unto your God. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations and all your dwellings.
And you don't eat until you bring that first fruit. Read.
And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath.
How much?
From the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths.
7 Sabbaths. You shall count 7 Sabbaths. This is where you get the Pentecost from. They say you shall count 7 Sabbaths. Here's the problem.
Yeah.
People don't keep reading. Number 7 Sabbaths, and then what?
7 Sabbaths shall be complete, even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath.
That's 50 days. 50 days. Then what?
After the 7th Sabbath,
then what?
Shall ye number 50 days.
You see that? That's 50 days plus 50 days.
Exactly.
What is that? 100 days. So no, it's not 50 days later. It's 100 days later. I done had arguments with brothers about this. It's plain right here. You can't show me any post-exilic Israelite following nothing that trumps Leviticus 23. Leviticus 23 tells us number 7 Sabbaths, and tomorrow after the 7 Sabbaths, which is 50. Then you number another 50 days, and that's when you do this. So it's not on the 50th day, which they call Pentecost. That's wrong. It's on the 100th day. Read, which will put you in the 4th month of the year, which is the beginning of the summer, which is when the harvest comes in.
Yep.
A lot of people don't understand these things. But this is why it's very important that we get back to the Torah through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. It's very important. The reason why it's very important is because in getting influenced by other nations, on winging things and guys having their own agendas, we got away from the core essence of the commandments in a lot of instances. And started esteeming the traditions of men over that. And that's what Yahweh Shai was speaking so adamantly against during his ministry. He was continually, essentially blaspheming the commandments of men. And he did it to prove a point that our people cared more about that than they actually cared about what the Most High commanded and gave us. So that's why it's important we go right back to the Torah, especially when dealing with feast days. And as we just read, what they call Pentecost shouldn't be called Pentecost because it's 100 days that the Most High commanded us to observe it on, not 50. Because Pentecost means 50th day. So that's wrong. Go ahead. And, you know, we letting our doctrine, we teaching our doctrine, we're letting our doctrine drop as rain through the spirit and power of Yahweh. So read.
You shall bring out you shall number 50 days, and you shall offer a new meat offering unto Yahweh. You shall bring out of your habitations 2 wave loaves of 2/10 deals. They shall be of fine flour, they shall be baking with leaven, they are the first fruits unto the Lord. It says, and ye shall offer with the bread of 7 lambs, without blemish of the first year, and 1 young bullock and 2 rams, they shall be for a burnt offering unto Yahweh, with their meat offering and their drink offerings, even an offering made by fire of sweet savor unto Yahweh. Then ye shall sacrifice 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and 2 lambs of the first year for a sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall wave them with the bread of the first fruits for a wave offering before Yahweh. With the 2 lambs, they shall be holy to Yahweh for the priests. And ye shall proclaim on the selfsame day that it may be an holy convocation unto you. Ye shall do no servile work therein. It shall be a statute forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations.
So you read that part again. You gotta slow down. Right? Go ahead.
And ye shall proclaim on the selfsame day that it may be an holy convocation.
No, before that, you gotta go before that. Go ahead.
This is verse 20. And the priest shall wave them with the bread of the first fruits for a wave offering.
The feast of first fruits. Read.
Before Yahweh with the 2 lambs, they shall be holy to Yahweh for the priests. And ye shall proclaim on the selfsame day that it may.
They shall be what?
They shall be holy to Yahweh for the priests.
Meaning Levi, we're eating that. Yeah. That's what that means. Not you. We eat it. Read.
And ye shall proclaim on the selfsame day that it may be an holy convocation unto you. Ye shall do no servile work therein. It shall be a statute forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations. And when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not make clean riddance of the corners of thy field.
See that? We've already read this earlier in Leviticus, but it's reiterated to show you how important it is. This is talking about the high holy days. It don't even got nothing to do with this, but it's being reiterated redundantly like the various other laws because we got to get it through our heads. Don't clean out the corners of your fields. That was like, again, a welfare system for us, for the poor, right? Read.
When thou reapest, neither shalt thou gather any gleaning of thy harvest. Thou shalt leave them unto the poor and to the stranger. I am Yahweh your God.
There you go. Read on.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month.
In the 7th month, what you do?
In the first day of the month.
The very first day of the month, on the new moon.
Shall you have a Sabbath.
New moon Sabbath. Read.
I mean,
it's plain in the text.
I don't even get the argument. This is insanity. A memorial of blowing of trumpets.
This feast is called the blowing of the trumpets. A memorial of blowing the trumpet. The blowing of the trumpets. Read on.
And holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh.
That's right. Go ahead.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Also on the 10th day of this 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement.
There shall be a what?
Day of atonement.
The Day of Atonement. The Day of Atonement is the only high holy day that's referred to as a what? This is behind, brother.
No, it's doing the same thing on mine. Oh, is it?
No. We would have seen it here. So go ahead, read that, but run that back.
Also on the 10th day of the 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be an holy convocation unto you. And ye shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. That's
right. So we afflict our souls during that Day of Atonement. So this is the only time where we're told not to do servile work that is not in accordance with the lunar calendrical system. It's the only time this happens. Go ahead.
It says, and ye shall do no work in that day, in the same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before Yahweh your power. For whatsoever soul it be that shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall be cut off from among his people.
So if you do not keep the Day of Atonement, which is a 24-hour fast from food and drink, you get cut off from Israel. This atones for sins, right? Read.
And whatsoever soul it be that doeth any work in that same day, that same soul will I destroy from among his people.
The Most High will kill you for not taking part in the Day of Atonement. So it's important that you take part in that fast. You afflict yourself for your sins. Read on.
Ye shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. It shall be unto you as a Sabbath of rest, and ye shall afflict your souls in the 9th day of the month at even. From even unto even shall ye celebrate your Sabbath.
That's right. From even unto even shall ye celebrate your Sabbath. Right, go ahead.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, The 15th day of this 7th month shall be.
So you have from the 1st to the 8th, you have a high holy day, a feast that takes place during that time. Then on the 10th, you got a feast that takes place during that time. Then on the 15th, well, not a feast on the 10th, you got a fast on the 10th. That's a fast day, not a feast day. Then on the 15th, on the next Sabbath, you have another high holy day. What does that read?
The 15th day of the 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles.
Shall be what?
The Feast of Tabernacles.
Read on.
For 7 days unto Yahweh.
For a week you celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles. Read on.
On the first day shall be an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein.
Read on.
7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. On the 8th day shall be an holy convocation unto you.
And we have to understand something. A lot of people always hit me up. They say, okay, we got a high holy day coming up. What do we do? There's not a lot you can do. When you have the Passover, we have something specific, like we're not supposed to eat unleavened bread. We're supposed to eat lamb and things of that during that time period. Yeah, there's very specific parameters around the Passover and Feast of Unleavened Bread. There's a very specific parameter on the Day of Atonement, and that we have to fast from food and water for a 24-hour period. There's a specific with Feast of Tabernacles, because we have to live in tents. But the key thing that we would do during all of these feasts would go to the temple and offer sacrifices, something that we do not have the ability to do at this time. So if it isn't a feast where we have these specific parameters, i.e. Passover, Day of Atonement, or Feast of Tabs, the other feasts, people say, well, what do we do? I mean, you don't do anything, really. You get together, you congregate, you commemorate, you read the scriptures, you acknowledge this time, you eat, you feast, you drink. If you drink, you be merry, etc. But outside of that, there's literally nothing you can do to observe the feast outside of that at this point in time, in exile, without a standing temple. Just so y'all understand, right? Because I'm always asked, oh, this feast is coming up, what do we do? Eat, congregate, read the scriptures about it. But we can't go offer 7 days worth of sacrifices, because you don't even have 7 days worth of sacrifices to offer. 1, 2, you ain't got a place to offer 7 days worth of sacrifices. So how you going to do that? You can't. So we just get together and we observe in that way, right? So read.
7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. On the 8th day shall be an holy convocation unto you. You shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. It is a solemn assembly, and ye shall do no servile work therein. These are the feasts of Yahweh, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering by fire made unto the Lord, a burnt offering and a meat offering, a sacrifice and drink offerings, everything upon
like day. Mike Ziegler said, we're covered by grace for now. Read on.
It says, beside the Sabbaths of Yahweh, and beside your gifts, and beside all your vows, and beside all your free will offerings, which ye give unto Yahweh.
So read that part again.
Beside your Sabbaths of Yahweh, and
beside the Sabbaths, right? Read.
And beside your gifts.
Beside the gifts you give, read.
And beside all your vows.
Beside your vows. This is key, because if you have a Nazirite vow, like myself, I have a Nazirite vow. But there's certain feasts that a drink offering is required, i.e. Passover. You must drink wine on Passover. So Nazirites typically drink wine or a honey wine on Passover. That's because it's a commandment to keep this beside your vow. So your vow doesn't trump this, and this doesn't trump your vow. You keep it beside it, right? So read.
And beside all your vows, and beside all your free will offerings, which you give unto Yahweh. Also on the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep a feast unto Yahweh 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath, which is on the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered.
Yes, if y'all don't notice, the theme is going to be the Sabbaths are first, 8, 15, 22nd. Yeah. Always. Read.
On the first day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath.
Read.
Oh boy. And ye shall take.
No, it's coincidence.
Yeah. And ye shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook, and ye shall rejoice before Yahweh your God 7 days. Ye shall keep a feast unto Yahweh 7 days in the year. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. Ye shall celebrate it in the 7th month. Ye shall dwell in booths 7 days. All that are Israelites born shall dwell in booths. That your generations may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am Yahweh.
So that's the purpose of us living in these tents during that time, is to recollect and reflect upon us coming out of Egypt and the nomadic way that we lived in tents during that time. The same way the Passover is also made for us to reflect on us coming out of Egypt. And the other, in most of the other feasts were about just thanking the Most High for the harvest that He was blessed us with. You see what I'm saying? So, but this one and the Passover in specific are literally just about reflecting on Egypt and never forgetting the great miraculous way that the Most High Yahweh saved us out of Egypt. And then we added later holy days, which are not high holy days, but still holy days, days of remembrance, where we commemorated how the Most High was with us to defeat our enemies, i.e. Hanukkah, i.e. Purim, i.e. The Feast of Nicanor, and the Memorial of Sinai. Okay? So read.
And Moses declared unto the children of Israel the feast of Yahweh. So on that.
That's on 23? Okay, with that, that will conclude our portions of the history and the Torah. We're going to end class with that. Again, we give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto the Most High God Yahweh. The name is only begotten Son of Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Stay tuned later tonight. We'll be live at the Situation Room, hosted by Deacon Akai. See y'all soon. Shalom.